And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening all over the internets, all over social media, all over the mainstream media. Shout out to these protesters, so-called protesters, harassing these Democratic senators, Kyrsten, Sinema, and Joe Manchin, because they don't want to sign the Build Back Better deal for a whopping minimum of $3.5 trillion up to $5.5 trillion. Do you understand how much money that is? You're talking about the entire world has a GDP of like 90 trillion. They're talking about 5.5 and a spending bill for stuff like LGBTQ, elemental P studies and whatnot. But I don't want to go down that road right now, so I digress. Also, the FBI are being weaponized as usual, this time against angry parents at school board meetings. We'll talk about that. Also, what we got? Oh, ESPN SportsCenter host Sage Steele pretty much being railroaded by the company. Well, I don't want to say railroaded. I'm going to just say thrown under the bus temporarily. Suspended for 1 week for some controversial comments about former President Barack Obama. And also, did you guys see my video today about the person being misgendered at a Sonic fast food joint? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. If you enjoyed what you have heard already thus far, if you enjoy the content in general on the channel, please give this video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're listening to this on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc., please give me a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can, and I most certainly appreciate you if you did. There's so much going on, I'm not really sure where to begin. One thing I got to tell you guys, there's like a rainstorm happening, I guess you would say. I'm not hearing no thunderbolts yet, but if the stream cuts, it's because the power went out. So don't blame me, blame the white man, blame Odin or whoever it is in the sky throwing the thunderbolts down. But for right now, we got power and it's all good. So again, I thank y'all for joining. We got a whole lot going on. We are on time, see Denise, and we are on time. I want to be punctual. That's my resolution for the end of the year, not New Year, end of the year. Be on time with your own stream. That's what I want to do. All right. So shout out to my sponsors as always. Shout out to you guys first. Everybody watching. Thank y'all for doing what you do. I couldn't do it without you. We're almost at 900,000 subscribers. We're going to get to 1 million very soon. So thank y'all, whether you're a long-time viewer, first-time viewer, you're just watching a few streams saying, hey, I don't know about that guy. Maybe I like what he says. Maybe I don't. It's all good. If you are a troll or a hater, hopefully I'm able to convert you away from your trolldom. Hopefully I can save you from your trolldom and become just a regular viewer and subscriber. So shout out to you guys for making this whole thing happen, first and foremost. Also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internets. They have everything you need. They have hard-hitting reports, op-eds. They have a little bit of fiction on there, some memes. Whatever you want, they got it. Been around for 25 years. patriotpost.us. There's a link to them in the description box below. Check them on out. Also, shout out to bhedesigns.com. That is bhedesigns.com. They make these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get ones that are just like those or one of your very own. Again, bhedesigns.com. And who else we got? Oh, shout out to my merch store. Hey, everybody that bought one of those shirts that Rihanna had on, think while it's still legal, thank you for doing that. That was a really big hit right there. And we have a lot more stuff. We got like 2 of these hats left. It might be all gone. I'm not really sure. So get them while they're getting is good, because when they're gone, I don't know when they're going to come back, because I got to do an order. It's crazy. But anyway, ablmerch.com for all the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more. Go to the website right now. They'll have what you need. And if they don't have what you need, please send me an email. And my email is on my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the contact pages right there. I have my email, my snail mail, all my social medias. I have my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, and I also have a TikTok page. Yes, I have TikTok. I've had it for a long time, just if I need it for content purposes. Like, let's say, for example, there's a video I want to get and download it so I can use it in a video like I've done today. I could do that over there. So I made a little TikTok. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. I know it's Chinese, so I'm gonna try to stay away from it as much as I can. But we live in the age where you got to be everywhere to combat the ridiculousness that's happening. But anyway, the main things you're gonna go to will be the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, and also the BitChute for my alternative media platform. Links for that will be in the box and also on the website, anthonyblogan.com. All right, so we have a whole lot going on, and I think I'm going to start with the so-called protesters that were harassing Kyrsten, Sinema, and Joe Manchin. Now, you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen what's happening here with the so-called protesters. Now, they got Joe Manchin first. They were protesting him first, and he was on his, they're calling that a yacht or a houseboat. I'm not really sure what it was, but it's a big boat that could be a yacht, and it's on the Potomac River in D.C., and it's called Almost Heaven because that's another name from West Virginia. They say West Virginia, Almost Heaven, West by God. That's what we call it up there. You're in the mountains, you're real high up. It's real beautiful out there. So Almost Heaven, West by God. Anyway, so he's on this houseboat, Almost Heaven. And then you have some kayaktivists. That's what they call themselves because they're activists and kayaks. So you got to just merge it together, right? Kayaktivists. They roll up on them in the kayaks, trying to pressure him to sign the Build Back Better deal. And before I even get into Joe Manchin, I just want to say a quick fact that I found about what Joe Biden did. Now, Joe Biden, remember when Trump had given the HBCUs a bunch of money? So they wanted to keep coming back every year to keep asking for more money, for more funding from the federal government. Well, Trump funded them. And now Biden has cut the money. And if you don't know, an HBCU is a black college, right? A lot of them are not doing very well. A lot of the alumni not giving the money need to be given. And so the federal government decided, okay, let's give them some money and have that be a permanent thing. Now, Trump did that, and it was all good. Remember the picture with Kellyanne Conway? Hold on. I'll bring you guys back right quick. I'll bring you guys back so you can remember what was going on. Just so we can kind of get the context here, right? Now, remember this picture? Let me put it on the screen right quick. Give me 1 second. Now, remember this? And all everybody kept talking about was she's sitting inappropriately. How dare her, all this, that, and the third. Right, they focused on Kellyanne Conway sitting on the couch, but what they did not focus on was all the black leaders, all the HBCU presidents who were present with Trump getting all that money guaranteed to them, right? And if you're not watching the screen right now, you have all these HBCU leaders. They're in the Oval Office. Trump is right there, and he is signing a bunch of money to them. And I presume it was $45 billion with a B that would go to all these black colleges across the country permanently, so they would not need to keep coming back to the White House every year to beg for it. Okay? Just so we understand where we're at. And I think this might have been 2017. So that this was early on in his presidency. In the first year of the presidency, he did this. But all the news focused on was Kellyanne Conway sitting on the couch. Right? That's all they wanted to focus on. Now, here we are. Fast forward, about 4 or 5 years later. Now we have the Biden administration cutting that money. Okay? So this is on blackenterprise.com, which is a black-run website. They have a lot of black writers. I know some of these guys are write for Black Enterprise. And it says, I'm going to read it verbatim, HBCU funding falls from $45 billion to $2 billion and Biden's spending plan due to Democrat infighting. So let's get this straight. Okay. They want to pass up to 5.5 trillion with a T in new spending. See, the 45 billion the money was already there for the HBCUs, right? It was already there because of Trump. They want to cut it from 45 billion to 2 billion, but increase new spending by 5.5 trillion. So surely out of the 5.5 trillion, there's a few billion left to keep what was already on the books. Nope, don't want to do that. So where's that money going? I don't know, LGBTQ, LMNOP, illegal aliens, green energy, all types of pet projects. A lot of these senators, sponsors, people that got them in office, they got to pay them back. They got favors to pay back, all kind of ridiculous stuff. Amnesty. You know, the funniest part? A lot of black folks were convinced to say, Trump is a racist. He hates black people, all this, that, and the third. But Trump was not trying to push amnesty. Trump was not having the southern border wide open for every time Dick and Harry to come on through. Trump wanted to do what's right for Americans, all Americans. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Puerto Rican, Kennedy stripe. All Americans he wanted to do for. And that was his whole agenda. And he did just that. Now we have the new administration catering to illegal aliens, bringing them in here by the jumbo jet load, by the caravan load, by the boat load to replace you, the American. They're going to take money that was given to you, that was earmarked from you, away from you, and then give it to them. So it's like, what's going on? Who's a racist? Who's doing the good thing? Who's doing the bad thing? Hey, but again, 5.5 trillion, there should be a little room in there for HBCUs. Man, if you're going to do just frivolous spending, why not just keep what was already on the books? Nope, can't do that. We got to give $100 trillion to green energy and LGBTQ and all that other stuff, and pet projects, bridges in nowhere, things of that nature. Golden seats on the race stop going to D.C. and Arlington, Virginia, somewhere like that. Or Fairfax County, Annandale, we got to have, immaculate facilities funded by the federales taken from your hard-earned tax money. And we're going to raise taxes to do it. Not on the rich, on you. Because even if they say, okay, we'll raise taxes on the rich. Well, check it out. The rich ain't going to pay that. They'll pay it, but they're not going to pay it. You see, if you are a rich person and your money comes from running the business, from the money that comes from that business, all you're going to do is just shift things around, raise prices, because you're going to have inflation. They're not going to be exempt from inflation. So they're going to raise prices. They're going to reduce man hours by investing in automation. They're going to find ways to make you pay for the tax increase. And on top of that, the federales are going to have access to your checking account at your bank. Okay, you got a Wells Fargo account or whatever. All right, we're going to monitor that. So if you have more than $500, $600 in your account, we're going to monitor that and report that to the federales. They're going to send it to the IRS. So don't get surprised when you get a letter talking about, okay, now you've had X amount of money. You painted a few houses. You made $800. Okay, here's a 1099 form. Fill that out and give us the tax from that. Oh, you're saying that you didn't do it? Well, we have your account right here. You did get that kind of money. That shouldn't be a thing they're worried about. But hey, we got to fund this Green New Deal or whatever they want to call this ridiculousness in some kind of way, by hook or by crook. But I digress. The whole point is that your man Joe Biden is not doing a very good job, and Trump was doing a much better job than Biden is doing. But the media are totally silent. The media were loud, they were verbose, and they were kind of angry about what Trump was doing, but I'm not seeing that same kind of energy here with what Biden is doing. No surprise at all to me. I'm not surprised. You guys should not be surprised either. But getting back to the senators, I kind of lost my train of thought. Getting back to the senators. So you have Joe Manchin and the kayak activists. And, you guys know, maybe you don't know, I was born in West Virginia, Canal County, Charleston, which is right where Joe Manchin would be when he's in, at the Capitol, was right there. I done seen the Gold Dome coming across the mountain. I know exactly where it's at. I've been to the Capitol many times. That's where I was born. I was born literally right there across the river from the capital in Charleston, West Virginia. So all my family's from there. I was born there, been there a lot. I know West Virginia. I know West Virginia accents. Now, when the kayak activist pulled up on him, he was like, hey, y'all from West Virginia? They're like, yeah, Charleston. I was like, nah. I may have heard one or two West Virginia voices, but the rest of those people were just straight DC swamp rats. And I probably heard all DC swamp rats and not one West Virginian at all. These people were just paid, in my humble opinion, or maybe they're part of an organization that volunteers, but I doubt that's happening. I'm sure there's money being exchanged. Okay. The kayaks or whatever, who paid for those? I mean, maybe they had their own kayak, maybe they rented them, but the money came from somewhere. They're not going to just be out there on a random day rolling up on Joe Manchin just by happenstance to confront him about these things with certain key talking points they want to cover. Everything's being recorded. They put it online. I mean, come on. Right? This whole thing is organized because they want to pressure Joe Manchin into signing the Build Back Better deal to spend $3.5 or the $5.5 trillion. The dumbest thing in the world. All DC swamp rats, no West Virginians, in my humble opinion, because again, I'm from there. I know West Virginia accent when I hear it. I heard DC, Starbucks, vocal fry. That's what I heard out there on the Potomac River, okay, in the kayaks. And then they went and harassed Kyrsten Sinema. Now, Kyrsten Sinema, yes, it is Doja Funk. West Virginia is all Appalachia, entirely. 100% Appalachia. That's like the heart of Appalachia, West Virginia. That's the center of it. Appalachia runs, I think, from like North Georgia, North Alabama, and East Tennessee up through like West North Carolina, Eastern Kentucky, like Southern Ohio, and then all of West Virginia, and then also like Western Pennsylvania and Western Maryland to a certain extent as well. That's Appalachia. The mountain range goes all the way up to like New York. But the region I would say is like, it starts in North Georgia, like right above Atlanta, Mississippi, Alabama, like that northern part on up to like Pennsylvania, like Pittsburgh and that way. And then once you get into New York, now you kind of leave Appalachia. But now to Kyrsten Sinema is also a senator from Arizona, another Democrat, just like Joe Manchin, who does not want to sign the Build Back Better deal. At bottom line, just too much money, too much ridiculousness, not a thing that she wants to do. Arizona is not California. So if she signs off on something like that, a lot of those expat Californians are like, hey, why do we vote for you? Why are you here? Yes, I'm a Democrat. Yes, I'm from California, but I don't want the California nonsense, the California BS. Tony Soprano, shout out to him. We don't want the California BS to come from California here. This is Arizona, right? We left California to avoid California, not to get more of the same. So if your constituents are like that, you can't vote for the Build Back Better deal to spend all this kind of money. So she's also a professor at ASU, Arizona State University. She teaches, I think, grant writing and law. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. But she was in class teaching students, and here come the so-called protesters invading the classroom, filming her, filming the students. It was a whole big mess. So then she leaves the classroom and tries to go to the bathroom, and they're following her in the bathroom. Now, one thing about this whole bathroom thing, they're talking about, oh, you could be LGBT, trans, or whatever, and be in the bathroom of your choice. So you could be some 6'8" dude looking like Magic Johnson with a blonde wig on and say, you know what? Today I identify as female. I'm gonna go to the women's restroom. I think I saw that when she went into the bathroom because I was hearing some bass in the voice when they were trying to chase her and get her to sign the Build Back Better deal. And then they follow her into the bathroom. Now, I don't know if the person that went into the bathroom and was filming with their phone right at the stall or by the door was a male, but they had the voice, they had the gruff in their voice. I'm hearing coal miner. I'm hearing iron worker. I'm hearing you been working the line for like 25 years. You've been working the line during Hurricane Andrew back in the 90s in Florida. I'm hearing that kind of voice in the bathroom trying to chase the senator from Arizona, Kyrsten Sinema. But anyway, I think it's all coordinated. When they follow her into the bathroom, they're talking about, well, I'm an illegal alien and I can't do X, Y, and Z. I can't go back Mexico because I'm not a citizen, all this and that. Because as I was saying, the Build Back Better thing has amnesty in it. You know, so they're opening the borders and then they want to make all these illegal aliens into citizens. I wonder why. It's because they want to be able to have that one party system, have everything be Democrat from here on out. That's their thought process. So if you come from a country where it's more conservative, go back across the water, go back across. We don't want you, right? If you're going to vote for the opposite side, you're not going to be helpful to us. Vote for the Democratic Party and we'll bring you in. That's my thought process on the whole thing. And that's why you have all these people that are trying to really push for the whole situation to happen. I don't see it happening, quite frankly. They couldn't get to 1.3 for infrastructure. So how are you going to get 3.5 or 5.5 trillion for the Build Back Better stuff with all kind of ridiculous pork and nonsense in it? I don't see it happening, right? But anyway, yeah, her name was Blanca. Doesn't Blanca mean white? Or am I tripping? So is her name like white girl? Blanca, because that's a feminine, right? Blanca, Blanco. So Blanca, doesn't that mean white girl? Like, am I just kind of rusty on my Rosetta Stone or what's going on? But for now, I will digress. The whole point is that I think this whole thing, this whole protest was organized and funded. We all know how these things go. We see Black Lives Matter. They get plenty of money. The founder has a whole real estate portfolio worth $3.4 million and a bunch of businesses, a bunch of LLCs generating money from donations, big government, big politics, giving money right there. What we got to do in this random city, in the random state, we need to do more inclusion. We need to give more money to the Black community. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give $250,000 to Black Lives Matter. Okay, cool. Get one of them big phony checks and present it to Patrice Cullors. That'll go straight into their LLCs and they get rerouted to her houses and their lifestyle. In my humble opinion, that's what I see. Blanca from Street Fighter, hilarious. Yeah, I remember that. A Blanca with a BLANK from Street Fighter, but her name was BLANCA. I don't even know. Yeah, that's crazy. I think that was a fake name on her part. Probably wasn't even Hispanic, just an actress. I don't believe anything I see anymore. All these viral videos and whatnot, I don't believe anything I see until I do some deep diving and research to figure out what's happening. I don't believe a word. I don't believe anything. Okay, now speaking about viral videos, have you guys seen the video of the person that identified as a trans woman? I'm gonna go ahead and just get straight to that one because that whole thing was crazy. Now, if somebody wants to identify as whatever they want to identify, you can identify as Pennywise the Clown. You can identify as a cell phone. You can identify as a thunderstorm. Whatever you want to identify as. You can identify as a zodiac sign. You can identify as Scorpio. The scorpion from Scorpio, that can be you. All right? Okay, your name, you have no pronouns. You have nothing. You identify as a zodiac sign. You identify as you identify as communism. Whatever you want to identify, that's your business, not mine. I'm not going to do that. That's not my wave. That's not my lifestyle. But you do you. Whatever you want to do is on you, right? However, when you try to get me to play your game, first of all, I don't know the rules. I never played that before. It's like, okay, you got a card game I never played before. I don't know the rules, so I don't want to play that. How about that? How about I don't want to play that? Let's play something else. Let's play reality. Let's play nonfiction. Let's play get off your phone and talk like a regular person. Let's play that rather than playing these ridiculous games. But anyway, I'm getting triggered already. So there was an incident that happened at a Sonic, a fast food joint, right? Where they go out there, roller skates and give you your food. kind of like a fancy McDonald's, I suppose you would say. I don't go to Sonic, so I don't really know what kind of food they have, but the line is always out on the street when I go past there. But anyway, so the person pulled up to a Sonic restaurant and they paid for their food. They were served like normal. It wasn't a problem. And they had they paid with a card, and it had a male name on it, a masculine name on it. I don't know what the name was. Steve Rogers, whatever. It was a masculine name. They paid with the card, and that caused a problem because they identify as a trans woman. So that's like misgendering, right? I identify as a trans woman. I'm she, her. Which, how are you going to know that anyway? Because I've seen people that have all types of pronouns. They create pronouns every 5 hours and put them on their Twitter. Yeah, I identify as a demi-goat, and my pronouns are goat, self, and they goat. I saw one person that said their pronouns are it, with nothing else. No he, her, them, they, it. So if you don't call them by the correct pronouns and you don't know it, how can anybody get mad? But of course, the person did get mad, and they recorded the whole thing on their TikToks and posted it. Like, we're going to be sympathetic. Oh, they're transphobic. No, they're not transphobic. The person was trying to do right. So the manager comes out and is trying to just get to the bottom of the situation. Like, okay, what's going on? What's happening here? What's the issue? Let's solve the problem. But I think the person was more interested in not solving the problem and just causing a scene and trying to get some attention. Now, if you've not seen them, I'll put it on the screen right quick so you can see what's going on. Let's get a little bit of sound.
Correct. I would like you to promise me that you will stop treating trans people this way.
Now, if you can't see the video, what's happening here is you're at Sonic, you're under the awning, I suppose, right by the place where you order your food. The manager comes out, he's trying to fix it. He has a phone in his hand, probably recording it for his own safety. And the view is from inside the car filming outward. So you see the manager with his phone pointing toward the camera because he's filming the whole thing for his safety.
I'm treating you bad? And I'm doing it?
Your staff.
Am I doing it?
Your staff.
They're not doing that, man.
Yes, they were.
Okay, well, no. I mean, like I said, your name on the credit card is a feminine name?
No.
Exactly. They're not discriminating you.
Yes,
no,
they
not.
are. Because someone else could be paying.
By you handing the card.
I'm sorry. If someone else was sitting here, that was a man, and I handed them that card, they would not have said anything. But because I'm alone, they're going to be an asshole.
I'm sorry for the cussing. It's not my fault, blame the white man.
And discriminate against me and be transphobic.
See? Nobody's transphobic like you're saying.
No,
Nobody's
that is what's happening.
No, that's how you feel. I'm so sorry.
No, it's actually not how I feel.
Yes, you are.
There's
because
a
you're
difference.
Doing this because of that.
No, there's a difference.
You know, because I mean, like in my sexuality, whatever it is, and I feel confident of who I am.
I'm not
what
talking
I am.
about sexuality.
That's what you're just telling me
you
right
don't
now.
even know what we're talking about. So how can you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? We're talking about gender identity.
See, now I'm at this point, the manager is he's doing a great job. Shout out to him. Bravo. Round of applause for him because he's doing at that point, I'm done. I'm like, all right, Doc, like what are you gonna do about it? How are you going to carry it from now on? Because you're trying to play a game. I'm not trying to get educated about this. I'm not trying to have no civil rights moment, no Rosa Parks moment. Let's just get you your cheese sticks and your hot dog bun and go about your business. How about that, sir?
You're talking about sexuality.
Okay.
There's a difference.
What are you? So I can call you. What are you?
Get to the bottom of it. What are you? Let's cut the nonsense. What are you? And whatever you identify as, let's rock with that. If you identify as a triceratops, all right, your pronouns would be tri and ceratops. Keep rocking.
No.
What are you?
Why does it matter?
No. What are you?
Why does it matter?
What are you? Because
Why does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter to you. But to me, I'm a male. Okay?
Okay.
So, what are you? So I can call you sir or ma'am. What are you?
What would you assume looking at me?
What are you?
What would you assume looking at me?
I assume that you're a man.
Okay. All right. Look. Let's just calm down here. If you guys are not watching the screen, what happened right now was that the person that was complaining about, I guess, being misgendered, rather than having the camera facing toward the manager, turned the camera to themselves to show the audience, hey, this is how I look. Do I appear to be a woman? That's what he's probably thinking, right? Doc, come on. Like, let's not play games. You are not very confident in how you look. You look like you just got done working, just building some, laying railroad spikes. I'm talking you hard labor, steel mill. You look kind of still rough and gruff. Like, if I saw you operate in a fight, I think you're going to win. Your jaw's humongous. Why is it always that people that think that they look so feminine got these humongous, I'm talking about the jaw, Hey Arnold, Stewie from Family Guy, football, basketball, football helmet with no helmet. There are some trans people that you couldn't even tell that they're trans. You know, I was watching something today. It was a Breakfast Club interview. And I guess the guy, Malik Yoba, the actor from back in the day, he was in a show called Near Undercover. Fitting name, but anyway, he got caught messing with a trans person. He had to come out talking about, yeah, I'm same gender attracted, or whatever he said. They did an interview with him and also the trans person he got caught with, and they appeared to be, from what I saw, a woman. You wouldn't even really know until you kind of examine, like, okay, I'm seeing your jaw, I'm seeing your Adam's apple, maybe. I'm not really sure what's going on. This cat, however, is not that.
Okay? Okay?
Thank you. Whatever.
See, at the end of it, like, whatever. They know. They know that they don't look like how they think they might look. They know that their appearance is not what they want it to be. So, look, check it out. Whatever kind of insecurity you have, whatever kind of issue you got, don't drag me into your nonsense, right? Holler at somebody to work through it, figure it out, but don't have me play your game with you. Because I'm not, that's not me. Holler at a friend or somebody like that is going to be able to play along and really get. I'm just a regular dude working at Sonic, trying to just get through my shift, trying to get you your chicken wings and your cheese sticks and your little dessert, your little floaty. That's all I'm trying to do. The total cost is $7.86. Cash or card. Card. All right, Mr. Rogers. I'm sorry, ma'am Rogers. Have a nice day. That's it. Right? The person, and you know what? The craziest part is that I'm hearing all these conflicting rules. Don't assume my gender. All right, so don't assume your gender from some people, but then when confronted with an assumption that's wrong, I'm cussed out. Then I'm told to assume again. But if I assume wrong, then I'm wrong. How about I don't assume and you just tell me? Why get mad at assuming, then ask me to assume again? You're trying to seek validation. You're trying to get somebody to confirm that you look like Beyonce. You look like Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, that's what you look like. Not Beyonce. Not Selena. Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, Cesar Chavez. That's how you look, boss. Tatted up, gang tattoos. It's like, man, look, you got a long way to go, all right? That's all I'm going to say. Nothing against anybody to live how they live. I'm just saying that's just the reality of the situation. I'm not fooled by what's going on. And also, again, back to this whole thing about assuming, some people that look like that want to be called Sir Steele. A point I made in my video was about Dennis Rodman. Remember Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman would wear a wedding dress, like full makeup, the whole nine. Ugly as sin. Ugly as sin as a man and as a woman. Okay. Just not very attractive. Just keeping it all the way real. He know that. He's not a pretty boy at all. And it didn't matter because he had Madonna, Carmen Electra. This guy had all the hottest women. Okay. Now, this is Dennis. Nobody ever thought Dennis was a woman. Nobody ever called Dennis at 6'8", basketball player, pro athlete, tip top physical shape. Nobody ever called him ma'am. Nobody. It was like, yo, what up, Dennis? Yeah, you have on a wedding dress and a pepper rain, dirty blonde wig or whatever that is, with a veil and all of that, and white gloves on the whole nine. But your name is still Dennis. I'm gonna still call you sir, and it was all right. So how do I know that that's not you? What you gotta do is just let me know. If it's a big deal, it's a problem, let me know. All right, I identify as helicopter. All right, well, buzz, boss. Buzz, and move on. I mean, I think most people don't really want to play these silly games. You know, and if you are so offended at everything, then you might want to find a different kind of lifestyle. Live a regular lifestyle, and you won't have to be dealing with so much offense. You understand? Oh, yeah, that was Dennis. You guys didn't know about Dennis? Dennis was out there. Dennis was wild. Dennis still kind of looks like that right now, even though he's not so overt. All the lip piercings and whatnot, crazy color hair, that's just him. And he said in the interview that it kind of somebody suggested he get like a blind streak in his hair, and it just kind of sparked something in him. It sparked an internal fire, and it just filled a missing hole, you know? And that's just what it was. He just did that for his own comfort. It made him feel good. I'm not trying to judge you, man. You know what I mean? You go to David's Bridal talking about, yeah, do you have a 43 long in the wedding dress? do you have a 45 long in the wedding dress? Yeah, extra tall. Can I get that tailored? Yeah, I'm 6'8" and I play professional basketball. Can I get that tailored? But I'm going down the rabbit hole, so I digress. The point is that I'm not really trying to play your games. Let's just stop all the nonsense. Now, let's get to ESPN SportsCenter host Sage Steele. Now, Sage Steele, I really like. I like how she is on the air, very professional, nice looking lady, conservative person, but not so in your face with it. But I like her a lot. And she has been outspoken lately. But before, she was kind of outspoken, but not so much. I'll explain. Now, before, it might have been a few years ago. I think it might have been during Trump, when Trump was running or when Trump was the president, like in the earlier, like 2016, 2017, something like that. And I remember she was doing a courtside interview with a guy. And during the interview, he was talking about healthcare. Like, I think he was a Canadian guy. He was talking about, yeah, you guys in America need healthcare, all this and that. She's like, all right, boss, let's not get political. And she kind of elbowed him, right? So she was not trying to be so political and keep things about sports. But she would say something every now and again that it can be a little political. You know, she spoke highly of her father and the military and things of that nature. Now, I guess you would say that speaking about the military and law enforcement, that's somehow a bad thing or a political thing, although it didn't used to be that way back in the day. But anyway, I digress. I like Sage Steele. She's a great host. But recently she went on Jay Cutler's podcast. Now, Jay Cutler was a quarterback from the Bears, Chicago Bears, for most of his career. He played for, I think, the Bengals for 1 year, if I'm not mistaken, and he played the first 3 years in Denver Broncos. But mostly he was a Chicago Bears quarterback. Not a very good quarterback in my humble opinion, but he was a quarterback in the NFL for a long time. Had like a 10, 13, something like that year career. Anyway, he has a podcast now, like everybody else in the world. And he interviewed Sage Steele. Now, during the interview, she said a few things that kind of ruffled some feathers. One of the main things she said was about Barack Obama. And she said that Barack Obama, matter of fact, can I play that? She spoke about Barack Obama's race. Barack Obama has a black African father and a white American mother. Everyone knows that. It's no secret. But some people say, matter of fact, let's pull it up right here. Here we go.
At this point, especially with Disney. I mean,
hold on 1 second.
I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but
okay, here it is. Because I think these two comments are combined, but I want to start with the last one first. All right, so this is Sage Steele on Jay Cutler's podcast, and shout out to Roster Red Pill on Twitter for posting this. Great source of information right there. Roster Red Pill on Twitter. Follow him right now. This is just me just saying it. I'm not prompted to do so. I just follow the page myself and I enjoy his content. But here is what she said about Barack Obama.
When you fill out your census, I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? I go, well, both. She's like, well, you can't. She goes, well, what if Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial? I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I go, I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you. I'm going to do me.
So you heard that. Basically, she was saying, hey, why must I put black on the census? She's biracial. Her father is black and her mother is white, same as Obama. Black father, white mother. The difference is that her black father raised her. Obama's didn't. That's just a fact. People can get mad or whatever, but it doesn't change the fact. The fact is that she was raised by her father. She loves her father. Obama did not have that experience. He was raised mostly by his mother's white family. And for a brief period of time, he was raised by Lolo Sotoro, the Indonesian guy in Indonesia. After that, he went to Hawaii with his white grandparents. The father was never involved. So her point was, why's he got to put black when he was never raised by anybody black? And he's black and white. Why can't he put both? Why can't I put both? And that's a fair question because, you know, when I was a kid, if you were mixed, which is what we called it back in the day, I think now it's biracial. Maybe they still say mixed. I don't really know. I kind of use both depending upon who I'm talking to, like their age. But anyway, when I was a kid, if you didn't look like me or my skin complexion, we thought you were mixed. Because I'm in an all black area. There's nobody white around, nobody light skinned around, nobody else other than black folks that are dark skinned like me. In Virginia, back in Portsmouth, that's just what it was in the areas where I lived. So it was always a question, hey, what are you mixed with? You could just be a light skinned black person. Hey, what are you mixed with? Are you biracial? What's going on? That was always a question. It wasn't really anything negative. It was just about curiosity, even from children. So if we had that mind state back then to say, well, maybe you're not black or white, you happen to be both, and that's fine. Why can't you do that as an adult? Why can't you say biracial? And I think you can do that now in the current sense. Maybe I'm wrong. I think you can do that now. But anyway, when she said that, that was a problem. That was a problem. ESPN, Disney, they didn't like that too much. And they got her on a 1-week suspension. But they want to try to say other things. They want to say, oh, well, she was talking about the vax mandate and how it's scary and how it's sick. So they want to bring that up. And, you know, the crazy part is that she said the vax mandate from Disney, which owns ESPN, if you didn't know, she said it's scary and sick, but she had to go get it because she needs a job. She has kids. She got divorced 2 years ago after a 20-year marriage. So she might need a job, right? She can't just say, well, I don't want to get it and quit because she has responsibilities, big bills or whatever the case may be. So she went ahead and got it. Now, after she got the vax, she got the virus too. After, not before she got the virus, she got the vax, pardon me, and then got the virus immediately. I don't know if the vax caused the virus. I'm just saying she got it. So then they want to say, okay, it'd be a 1-week suspension because of her health and whatnot. Wait a minute. So you coerced her to get the vax through this mandate, and then when she gets it, you suspend her? No. The reason why she suspended is because of the Obama comments. But she was not wrong in what she said. Now, maybe it was harsh. Maybe it was something that people didn't want to hear, but it was the truth. it was the 1000% truth. And at a certain point, I think it's dumb to attack someone for being honest. If the truth hurts, then change the truth, and then it won't hurt anymore. And then it'd just be all sunshines and rainbows. That's what it would be, rather than harmful reality. But people don't want to do that. They just want to attack the messenger, shoot the messenger, because that's easier to do than to confront the actual problem and make that go away. All right? People got offended to their core because of what she said, but it was a fact. 1000%. And also what she said about the vax was a fact. And as a matter of fact, let's play that right quick. I have that soundbite too. Let's put it on the screen right now. Again, this is Sage Steele, ESPN SportsCenter host on a podcast with Jay Cutler, formerly of Chicago Bears quarterback.
I respect everyone's decision. I really do. Yeah. But to mandate it is sick. Mm-hmm. And it's scary to me in many ways. But I have a job. Yeah. A job that I love, and frankly, a job that I need. But again, I love it. I just, I'm not surprised it got to this point, especially with Disney. I mean, a global company like. Yes.
So, I mean, where's the lie? Like, she got suspended, but here's my question: where is the lie in anything she said? Identify the lie, and then I'll be like, okay, that was a justified suspension. She should have got suspended. It makes sense, but where is the lie? I don't see it. Right? The truth is despised nowadays. That's correct, Saber. 100%. So yeah, shout out to Sage Steele for keeping it all the way real. And don't back down. We got your back. Do not back down. What I don't want to happen is she must run to get fired, although she still went and got the vax. Like, you got the vax. Being coerced into doing it, you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. You get the vax, and you still get fired. I don't want that to happen because she doesn't deserve that. And ESPN and Disney, quite frankly, should be sued if that happens. Because you're coerced into doing a thing, you get it, you still get the virus, which makes it defeats the purpose. Because they say two things. They say one thing first. You got to get the vax. It's got to be mandated because you got to protect others. Right? That's what they say. Although we know from, again, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky that the vax cannot stop the spread. Cannot stop the spread. It can't stop transmission. It can't stop you from catching it. It can't stop anything. All that it does is reduce your symptoms, allegedly. Allegedly is what they say, right? So the shift from that, when we say that it can't stop the transmission, oh, well, you won't go to the hospital. Well, if you don't have the vax, I mean, how is it going to be just a guaranteed thing you're going to go to the hospital? How likely is that with an unvaccinated person? She's going to go to the hospital, be on the ventilator and whatnot. What, like a 99.9% chance she won't have that happen? But anyway. So this whole thing is bogus, and I hope people like her stand up more all over the country so we can expose it more and also put pressure on people to stop doing it. Because at a certain point, if everybody just kind of plays along, then it'll just happen. A stat I saw in New York was pretty revealing. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but I think that it is. I forget the exact stat. If they're talking about the vax mandate for restaurants, and it's only been like a handful of these spots that have been fined. A very small amount have been fined, like 10 have been fined or penalized for violating the vax mandate. But there have been thousands who have been cited for it, thousands, but only 10 actual enforcements have been handed down. You see what I'm saying? So at a certain point, if that's going on right now and everybody stops following it, how are you going to enforce it? The police ain't going to do it. If no restaurant is following the vax mandate, how can it be enforced? You can't. There's not enough resources to be able to do that. And they said that businesses dropped between 40 and 60% after the vax mandate. And this is still after a lot of these lockdowns and whatnot had already reduced the traffic in restaurants. So if I was a restaurant in New York City, if I own one, like let's say Times Square, whatever it is, I'm not following the vax mandate because it doesn't even matter. If they try to enforce me, so what? My options are go out of business from not getting clientele in because of the vax mandate or face a possible maybe enforcement. I roll the dice, take my chances. I probably won't get enforced on. If you could be a criminal in New York City, if you could be a murderer in New York City, get arrested and let out with no bail, then why are you going to try to fine my restaurant thousands of dollars for not enforcing the vax mandate? Priorities, let's get them straight. Focus on catching the murderers and whatnot in New York City and keeping them in the penitentiary or jail or wherever, rather than worrying about me and my sandwich and bagel shop. But I digress. So shout out to everybody out there that is not following the mandates. And shout out to all the governors that have free states. Where I live is totally open, no masks, no mandates, no nothing. Do whatever you want to do. Okay, and I love it. It's fantastic. All right. So what else we got going on? There's a whole lot happening. Oh, thank you for joining me yet again. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Oh, shout out. Okay, I almost forgot about this one. So the federales want to come after you if you are an angry parent at a school board meeting. Now, they want to try to use the Patriot Act against parents because here's what's happening. It's like a school board group and teachers union group. They want to say that there's been a lot of threats from parents against school board members and teachers due to two main things. Virus mandates, whether you got to wear a mask or you got to get the vax. And also, what else? Oh, critical race theory. This is in K through 12 public school. They said there's been threats against teachers and staff and school board members because of all these things that are going on. But is it really? Is it really? I think it might have been one incident in Chicago that happened, just one incident. And from that, they're trying to apply a thing to all parents across the nation from the federales. So they want to have the DOJ sick the FBI on parents who are upset in school board meetings. They want to silence you. That's all it is, because we've seen these things go viral. Every school board meeting is really raucous because it's talking about critical race theory and inappropriate things that shouldn't be taught to children. That's happening. A lot of these mandates, you got little kids wearing masks. One little kid had his mask taped on his mouth. So if that happens and you're a parent, you have the obligation to go down there to wherever you got to go and fix the problem. However you got to fix it, you got to fix it because that's your child. And at the end of the day, regardless of what they say, that is your responsibility. Your children do not belong to the state. They don't belong to anyone else other than you. If you're the parent, period. The parent, legal guardian, whatever it is, that's your children, your responsibility. So you got to go down to wherever you got to go and fix it however you can. Now I have no real insight on how to fix it. You guys are very creative. You know what's going on. But you got to fix it. But they don't want that. They want to be able to teach your children whatever they want to teach your children. I saw Terry McAuliffe, the guy running for governor in Virginia, the Democrat. He said that parents shouldn't even be worried about what's happening in the classroom. Let them teach. Don't worry about it, says the governor candidate in Virginia. How does that make any sense? They have meetings for parents to go to for that reason. You want to be involved with what's happening with your kids. If the kids are struggling, if the kids need help, you want to be there. If they're doing well, you want to encourage that. You got to be there. The biggest problem I see are absent parents that don't really care about what's going on. Don't care about your report card. Don't care about what's happening. Just let stuff happen. And then they send their kids off perfectly normal, watching SpongeBob or whatever, and they come back talking about LGBTQ, LMNOP type stuff. They're being brainwashed by dangerous predator teachers. And a lot of these guys, quite frankly, look like they're predators in a different way. If you catch my drift. They look like, Chris Hansen will talk to him with some cookies You understand what I'm saying? So as a parent, you want to be involved, but the teachers don't want it. The school boards don't always want it. That's why they try to be funny with how they have the meetings. They want to try to change the location, change the time, and limit public opinion, limit the availability of the meetings. But aside from you're the parent, that's your child, you're also a taxpayer. So check it out. I'm paying for all this regardless. Even if you don't have children in public school, you still pay for it from taxes, yes? You pay it regardless, so it don't even matter. I can have kids here, no kids here. This is my taxpayer money, and I have the right to freedom of speech, First Amendment. As long as I'm peaceful, you can't stop me. But they want to send the federales out there to stop you. That's the whole point. It's intimidation. That's all it is, intimidation. Is that legal, constitutional? This should go to the Supreme Court. And this practice shouldn't be going on. And some people say, oh, this is a great thing. This is fantastic. But people that say that only have this benefit them. Maybe they don't want to do with irate parents at a school board meeting. Maybe they want that to stop. But if that power is used against them, it'll go the other direction as well. It's always more. It's not a thing that ceases. If they're able to gain power right there and silence angry parents, they do it to anybody. They'll do it to somebody just a regular normie on the street who is not involved at all. And then it becomes kind of a totalitarian type state. And we don't want to go the direction of China where you can't say anything. No freedom of speech. Same thing happening right now in Australia. No freedom of speech. No Second Amendment. And you see how they're being treated. That can happen here if we let it. And let's not let it happen. Let's not become a prison colony like Australia is becoming. Or maybe it already is like that. Maybe it never was anything else other than that from when it started. Because you guys know the history of Australia. The British sent the prisoners out there, like all the way far away out there. So they'd be, they couldn't really impact the British. Middle of nowhere, basically. Then it became a country. And now it's going back to becoming the prison, unfortunately. So yeah, shout out to all the parents that are going to be involved in their children's lives and not just playing the background, kind of lackadaisical, right? Exactly. MROX, if you don't want to deal with angry parents, don't mess with the kids. Leave them kids alone. If you want the parents to be cool, you don't want them to be angry, leave them kids alone. That's great advice. Fantastic advice. It's kind of common sense, right? But I guess common sense ain't too common anymore, huh? Exactly, Valerie Rogers. More of us than of them. There's many more of us than there is of them. At the end of the day, these are people, as we are. And they're not anything more than that. I don't care if you're the federales. I don't care if you're a school board member or a teacher. They're all people. We are too. So they're not any greater than us. They bleed just like us. They eat just like us. Well, some eat a lot more, but that's a different story. Anyway, they're humans just like we are humans. So I have no intimidation of these people, from these people at all. Not in the least bit. Yes, Pink Floyd, leave them kids alone. 100%. All right. So we have super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those right quick, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. It's right there in the bottom of the screen, and it'll also be in the description below the video. So y'all give me a few seconds while I get to that, and then we'll get to the calls in a moment, probably about good 5 to 10 minutes. So y'all hang tight. Just park it right there. We're going to get right on it. And let's go to the first one here. What's the day? October the 6th. Yes, I got quite a few. Thank you to Leo Mazzino, who says, any government person or persons wanting to arrest parents or anyone speaking against CRT should immediately resign for violation of the First Amendment. There you go. Right on. I have freedom of speech. That's just what it is. Eric Burns Marsh says, since you don't like Kyrsten, let's go Brandon. Yeah, shout out to my man. I don't know his last name, Brandon, a NASCAR guy. And I don't want to play it because it's cussing in it. But after he won the race, he was doing an interview live on there. I think it was on NBC, and there was a chant happening behind them. They were saying, F Joe Biden. The reporter was saying that the crowd was saying, let's go Brandon. No, that's not what happened. They were saying it was clear as day. Now, maybe benefit of the doubt, maybe, but her being right there on the track, she couldn't really hear it as well as I could at home. Just maybe. But regardless of what's going on, they did not say, let's go Brandon. They said F Joe Biden, which was hilarious. Shout out to them. And it was funny because the reporter had paused because she was talking while the chant was going on, doing an interview, and she was hearing the chant. So she paused so you're able to hear it clearly without them talking over it. It was hilarious. Hilarious. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Leo Mazzina says VP Harris visited Montclair, New Jersey to speak on vaccinations and Biden child care proposals. Also, what are your thoughts on Andrew Yang's leaving the Democratic Party, becoming an independent? I don't know. I think it's kind of a PR stunt because he's not going to be any different than he is right now. So what's the purpose in doing that? It's kind of like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is independent as well, but still just the same as a Democrat. I think that I next to your name means that you are a communist Democrat. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I see. I thought he was coming from the beginning, talking about UBI and stuff like that. I thought that was communist stuff, and he's Chinese, but I don't want to go down that road. But anyway, I think he's a communist. He has kind of commie ideals, so putting the I next to his name makes sense. He's talking about these ABL. I know. I'm sorry. I'll move on. Thank you to Apple, who says, shout out to Doug Ripley, keeping them trolls in check. There you go. Thank you to Chris Quiet, who says, love you, ABL. Thank you for that, boss. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Caitlin Nyson, who says, did you hear about Arlington today? Prayers for the family. What do you think about how the media will be covering this event? You're talking about Arlington, Texas? I did see that. Now, there was a mass shooter out there in Arlington, Texas. Is that like, where is that actually at as far as geographically? Oh, it's like Dallas. Okay. Yeah. Now, when the story first broke, they're talking about, white mass shooter yet again, all this and that. And then what it wound up being was not necessarily a mass shooting. Although it was a mass shooting, but it wasn't the way that you would expect. It wasn't like a kid went to the school and just started shooting. The quote unquote kid was an 18-year-old adult in high school. And I guess he was just attending the school and got into a fight with some people. He pulls a gun out and shoots people. I think he shot like 2 to 3 people. Nobody died as of yet. Hopefully don't nobody die. But he shot them and then tried to escape. But they got him. The police got him. I think he had a Charger or something like that. It had his license plate. And it wasn't even a bad neighborhood. It was just like a good area. And he was black. And it's like, what are you doing? You 18, you about to graduate probably. Why are you bringing the pistol to school? What are you thinking about? You're just dumb. His whole life is gone because of bringing the pistol to school and pulling it out and shooting it in the school. Just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see what happened with that. But I think the story will die by tomorrow because he's black and the story is not quite what they would want for a typical mass shooting, right? So what was he charged with? Not attempted murder? What was his actual charges? Yeah, it says Arlington is between Dallas and Fort Worth. Okay. The Dallas area, basically. But this story will be gone by this time tomorrow. They were covering it live, doing interviews on the scene. It'll be done. Ain't no Dylan Roof, ain't no white supremacists, ain't nothing like that going on. Move on. Because Dallas, if you don't know, they've had a war going on between rappers. Or that might have been kind of earlier this year. Because they killed this guy by the name of Mo 3. I know what that is. Yes, I do. They killed Mo 3. And he was a guy that would get into like beefs and whatnot around Dallas with some of the other rappers, Yellow Beezy and whatnot. But anyway, I don't want to go down that whole world star hip hop mode right now. But when they killed him, a bunch of other guys were getting shot and set up and whatnot in retaliation. And then those guys that were doing the shooting were getting shot too because they're being retaliated against. So it was like 20 guys that got shot. A bunch of guys got killed because of that. It was crazy. Lil Boosie got shot out there. It was a bunch of guys that got shot just in Dallas, in that area over the past few months. You've not heard about that in the media at all, have you? This will be the same as that. Because the guys that are doing the shooting are the same age as the guy that got shot or the guy that was shooting today for the most part. A lot of these shootings that happen in these areas are by 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. That's kind of how it goes. But anyway, we'll move on. Let's see. Thank you to Apple, who says, please pray for all the J6 MAGA patriots unfairly jailed in D.C. before trial, like Troy Smocks, Black veteran and Christian in prison in solitary confinement. In the end, God wins, and so will we. God bless the USA. Thank you for that. He also says in congressional hearing, Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib berates Texas pro-life doctor, calls on Black women to say no need for white pro-life saviors. Thoughts? I mean, that's so silly. I guess Rashida Tlaib just wants to have more dead Black babies, and she wants to try to manipulate people with this shaming language, talking about, oh, we don't want white saviors. Well, I don't care what color you are. If you want to see Black folks live, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But I guess it's a bad thing to Rashida Tlaib. Also, he says, Apu says, shout out to FBI, Abercrombie snitches, spying, learn. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, if ABL runs out of merch, it's the white man's fault. Thank you to Miles Davis, who says, 341.1 million in PPP loans snapped by scammers. Hardly any left for real business owners, which led to closed business. No surprise, because the government sucks. Government sucks. Everybody knows it. Federal government, they're trash. They're not really, so when they talk about they want to spy on your bank account, that's gonna go wrong. You're gonna see people getting their private information leaked on the internet. It's gonna be all bad. Like I saw today, there was a massive hack or a leak of Twitch, and a bunch of the top streamers' pay got leaked. It was the top 25 guys. What they made from 2019 to 2021 got leaked. So I see that happening with the federales going into bank account. They're seeing what you buying and where you sending your money to. It's going to be a mess. Thank you to Veronica, who says, hi from Laredo, Texas, ABL. We're grilling tonight. Hey, shout out to y'all grilling. Get some good ribs. Get some good chicken wings on the grill. Apple also says, FBI can't stop terrorists, school shooters, gangsters, pedos. But the FBI real good at arresting meatballs and now concerned parents of critical race theory. There you go. Shame. Apple also says Biden cuts money to HBCUs. Democrats are racist. Wake up. Chicago mayor and DA won't indict gang bangers for murder. Will you be in Brandon Tatum's show tomorrow? Jericho, Modern Renaissance Man. I'll be there tomorrow. It'll be me. Well, Brandon, of course. Myself. My man, Craig Long. And one other guest I don't know yet. You got to watch tomorrow to find out who that guy's going to be. He said favorite Black comedian. Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, Damon Wayans. I like Dave Chappelle still, even though he kind of went woke. I still like Dave Chappelle for the whole body of work. The Chappelle Show, the prior specials. He had some duds as far as specials recently, but I still like Dave. I like Chris Rock too, because Dave and Chris Rock, they're more like philosophers in my opinion. Bernie and Eddie, they're more just funny guys. Nothing wrong with that, but I like more I like the George Carlin type stuff where it's just like, it's funny, but it's not funny. I'm being dead serious. That's kind of how, that's my brand of comedy that I like. I like more of the preacher comedians. Let me see. White comedian, Seinfeld, Robert Williams. What's that? Jim Brewer. Again, George Carlin. I like Seinfeld. Larry David. Again, the woke stuff I'm not really with as far as, but Curb Your Enthusiasm, one of the best shows ever. Seinfeld, great. But George Carlin, the GOAT, period. All time. Terenius also says, Apu, my favorite comedian is Joe Biden. Every time he talks, I LMAO, hilarious. Thank you to Lily J for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you to Valerie Rogers, who says the feds are coming after parents who oppose CRT. Terenius says, let's go, Brandon. Pamela White says, the manager deserves a raise. 1,000%. Get him in a raise. Get him in a whole new position for dealing with that transformer who was out of his mind. Noah Garcia says, ABL, that transformer at Sonic's had a thick jawline. I'm talking about like a whole Lego block right here. Right here. Yeah, and that's with 2 C's in the thick. Hilarious. Jane Doe says, the trans Sonic dude could have been a cross-dresser. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Right. See, my uncle did that. I had an uncle that is a cross-dresser. He's not passed away. He cross-dressed and was still a man. I'm talking about like Golden Gloves would knock you clean on out. Now, I've seen it happen. You don't want to get knocked out by a dude wearing street drag. It's crazy, but I've seen it. Drip Collins says, great stream tonight. Glad to be with the best chat on the web. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ricky Lee, for your donation. Thank you to Noah Garcia, who says, fact, the vax cannot stop the spread, just like Kamala's left her. Okay, I can't say that, Noah. I can't say that. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says, civil disobedience is key. Take care for Muslims, patriots, right on. Right on. I agree with you 1,000%. Thank you to Tim Wesley, who says all the states that were wide open are doing great. So why the media is not telling the truth? Hashtag defund the media, please. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Florida is doing great. Everybody wants to go to Florida. Tennessee doing great. Everybody wants to come here. There's no problems here. Oh, they're overloaded. No, they're not. This is the flu, in my opinion. This is the flu. This is flu plus. HBO plus, flu plus. That's what's happening. Flu premium package, HD flu, 4K flu. That's what's happening, in my humble opinion. Not a fact, my humble opinion. Thank you to Red Pill Broadcast, who says many eyes opened up in the last 8 months since Biden went in. The economic woes, Afghanistan mistake, energy independence lost, bumbling president, now forced mandates pushing the rest over the edge. 1,000%. 1,000%. And I hope this trend continues. And it's not just a one-off type thing where it's like, oh, okay, nah, let's let the whole thing continue. Joe Ryder 84 says Bernie Mac is anti-BLM because he loved America. He was a family man. 1,000%. RIP to the Mac man. Bernie Mac all day long. All right, we got calls to get to. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box below the video. And if you want to see this broadcast, this podcast, whatever you want to call it, in audio only, after we're done, it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, and the link for that will be in the description box below. Or just go there, go to Apple iTunes and search ABL Live. I'll pop right on up. All right, let's go ahead and get her done. Again, the number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get in through video, there's an email for that in the description box below. All right. A lot of you guys have been texting me already. Okay, let's go to the next one here. 502, you're going to line who am I speaking to? Hello, 502, can you hear me?
Yes.
All righty, what's going on? Okay, what you're going to do is turn the stream off in the background. Okay, don't get cold feet now. Look, when you call, turn the stream off in the background. Don't try to be on the phone and look at me in my eyes. This ain't FaceTime. It's not going to work like that. There's a delay. So do not have the stream on. Do not have the audio from the stream on. Just talk on the phone and we'll keep rocking and rolling. All right. Let's get to the next one here. All righty. Skype caller, what's happening? I cannot hear you. I don't know what's going on with your audio. There we go.
Are you there?
I'm here now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, actually, I was just, when you answered, I was still setting everything up. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I tried to get through to you last week, and I couldn't. Man, it's like trying to stalk you or something.
Hey, it's
just keep
rough.
dialing and dialing and dialing.
It's rough, but you're here now, so what's happening?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, last week I was going to mention about the, of course, I've said this to you before about the trans sports person. Well, not only has she kicked females in the teeth, but because of this award now that she has, she's kicked all athletes in the teeth as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so we got, I need some, let me, there it is. Volume. Okay, there we go. Now I can hear better, I think. Anyway, well, back to the trans thing, this thing happening at the Sonic. I feel so bad for that poor manager.
I mean, it was terrible because he was trying to do the right thing, trying to just help the situation, but the person was not interested. They wanted to just make a scene and get some attention.
Well, you could tell, actually, I could tell a little bit that manager guy, he was trying to do his best and everything, but he didn't care.
Nah, he's not. I mean, you're at Sonic. We're not at Ruth Chris. We're not at some kind of big steakhouse. It's like, sir, give me your $5.75 and keep it moving.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say, I've actually got a kind of new old name for folks like that right now. To be honest with you, when I see this kind of stuff happening and they just do it to be getting attention or causing trouble or whatever, to me, they're just plain a-holes.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I mean, because when I was younger and everything like that, that's what a-holes would do. They would just bother you for no reason and start to, and try to make you look like the jerk.
It's crazy.
It really is crazy. And of course, this thing now, I have a grandbaby that's actually getting ready to start school here in the next year. He'll be in kindergarten. And this thing with the FBI going after parents that are literally just looking after their own children, that's scary.
Yeah, because, I mean, at a certain point, where does that stop? If I can't just go to the school, voice my grievances, which is my right to do so, I'm not being violent, I'm not doing anything, I'm just voicing my grievance, let you know what's going on in the public setting like I'm supposed to do. Why can't I do that? Now, if I can't, then what else can I do? What other rights will I lose?
Yeah, well, that you got to worry about that too. But also too, you got these people that sit up there and you talk to them. They go to they have these meetings and everything. And they look down their nose at you.
That's right.
How do you not get frustrated with, when you're trying to explain something to somebody or want to do something with somebody and you actually are the ones that voted these jerks in there to begin with. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, how dare you? You don't have any rights to your children. You voted me in. I'm in charge now. How do you not get frustrated and not want to punch somebody in the throat for that?
Right, exactly.
Because, I mean, these people, we're paying these people salaries. They work for us.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I got through. I didn't actually get a chance to write anything down. The main thing that I wanted to discuss with you about that was the transgender thing. And it's mainly because as a female, I'm watching all of our rights being flushed down the toilet for men again.
That's right.
It's like they can get away with anything they want to. All they have to do is claim to be one of us. I think that's complete and utter BS.
Right on.
Okay. And hopefully you'll call into my call talk show. I've decided I'm going live on December the 2nd.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it works out.
I want everybody and anybody to call. My goal is to do the same thing I think that you're doing in a way. Of course, I'm not necessarily looking for arguments. You're so much better at that than I am. My main thing is trying to get the normies to call in and complain. The more voices we have, the better we'll be. That's right. Yeah. In this fight. So hopefully I can get as many normies as you can someday. I was a normie once. Believe me, I didn't have anything to do with any of this stuff until about 2 years ago. I was too busy with my music business and all that other stuff. And then I got sick, and then he got sick, and I was kind of sort of forced into do. I didn't really have anything else to do except for sit in front of a TV or a computer screen. And then all this stuff, all this information was coming to me. I didn't know half of this stuff was going on at the time.
Right.
So, but I felt compelled, especially after watching folks like you and Brandon Tatum. Absolutely adore Jericho Green. I mean, I worry about him when I don't see him.
That's right
when
on.
he skips a day or something, I worry about Jericho because he's very. I'm surprised that they haven't censored him more. Actually,
No, Jericho, he'll be good. Jericho's good to go.
Yeah, but I adore Jericho. I always have. In fact, I made a cartoon about him when I first saw him because he makes really good impressions. And
Yes.
He does some really cool cartoon noises too. So that's what got my attention. But then also too, he's an awesome citizen and an awesome patriot too. So
yeah, good.
Anyway,
good guy. Well,
you remember who I am, right? I didn't even tell you who I was.
I do. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate it.
Okay. Yes, and we love you. We love you. We watch you every time. I try to get in touch with you every time too. But make sure to come see me. Here's what I heard.
All right. Thank you for the call.
I want to give everybody a chance to talk and everything like that too. So come check me out, and we all need support right now.
All righty. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All righty. Let's get to a few more here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 701, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is the anti-view. How are you doing, ABL?
I'm well. About yourself?
I wish I could say better, to be honest. I had kind of a spiel that I wanted to talk about, and then I was very rudely interrupted by an arsonist this weekend.
Uh-oh. An arsonist? Whoa. What happened?
Yeah, we had a mentally ill, drug-addicted person who had civil, a civil with the state, with his mental health. He was supposed to do these certain things, a civil suit, or I don't know what it's called. Anywho, he went down to the local gas station and bought 2 canisters and then proceeded to fill the canisters up with gas. And then he took a walk and he decided to just choose our house. And he went along the side of the house and he dumped a bunch of gas and he dumped it all over what would be my future 16-year-old stepson, what would be his future car from grandma and grandpa, dumped it all over that, and then proceeded to flick his Bic and light our car and the side of our house on fire.
Oh my God. Wow.
We are okay.
Okay. Good.
And the house is okay. But I don't know what's worse, looking at your house burn to the ground without you in it, and it being a fluke, or being inside your house with your children when your house is getting lit on fire at 1:30 in the morning, realizing that you could have died.
I mean, that's both bad, but I'm glad you guys are okay. That's at the bottom. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing here.
I thank you. I greatly appreciate that. It was random. It was totally random, but everything that's happened after is why I guess I'm calling tonight, because I never realized how alone you are as a victim until you have something happen to you. You know, this gentleman is not mentally competent, so while he sits in the emergency room and gets 3 meals and 3 snacks and a blanket from a blanket warmer and a court-appointed lawyer, after the cops leave, after the fire investigators leave, after everything's all done, I'm the one sitting here going, I'm in a state where I can't shoot the guy because I'm arrested.
Oh, really?
And I can't, we have the Blink camera system, throw names out there. I don't necessarily mean to endorse them, but after this, I do. Because they saved our house. They saved our life. We heard the camera go off on our phone. We just happened to be awake, and we thought it was a deer. And it turns out there's a guy on the side of the house. And next thing you know, my husband's going out the front door with a bat, and I'm waking up the kids to get them out of the house, you know? But I never realized how much our tax money goes to people that are committing crimes and how really none of it goes back to the people that are actually getting the crimes committed against them. And I guess that's why I wanted to call tonight, because I'm just incredibly frustrated.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Especially when I'm the nurse that's called, I'm the one who's going and taking care of these people. I'm the one who's risking myself or my health or my COVID status, whatever you want to, and then I'm the one who at the end of the day is sitting here with my thumb, where, going, who's going to call and help me? Oh, here's another thing. I called the victim unit coordinator because that's who I'm told to call. And I get told by them, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to give you any advice. You need to call and hire an attorney on your own.
Wow.
What?
So what's the point? What's the point in calling this hotline if they can't help you?
What's the point of any of it? We're going through we're going through the stuff with I know we all have insurance for a reason, but that's not the point. Like, prior to Friday night, I had a house that was not singed, and I had a car that was ready for my son to get his license, and I had security in my home, so to speak, and now I might not even get that back as far as like breaking even, because this is a guy who's been living off the system. This is a guy who's getting everything given to him even now as we speak. And I'm the one being told by the adjuster, well, your cedar siding probably cost this much, but you're only going to get probably a couple grand.
Oh boy.
It's going to cost more than that to fix it. Well, that's why we have insurance. No, not for people who should have been locked up in the first place. And that's maybe another problem with this state, is we keep letting criminals out. And that was one thing that was really eye-opening from the police, is them saying, we can drive by your home. We can do what we can to make sure that you feel good until we catch this guy, which they have now. They knew exactly who he was once the rest of the officers got there on Monday morning. They knew exactly, and they arrested him, and he didn't fight. But it's all been an eye-opening experience. I don't even know where I was going with that, but this was a way longer rant than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to tell you my frustrations, because I never thought that this would be happening,
I hear you. Well, hopefully this guy stays locked up, because we don't want this happening again. I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, ABL. Bye.
That's crazy. I mean, so what she was saying is that they can't even go out there and shoot the guy, although we setting their house on fire from the outside. Dope fiend, crackhead, whatever you want to call them, out there trying to set the house on fire, and successful, set their car on fire and then sit inside of the house. Luckily, and they were inside when it happened, 1:30 in the morning. Now, if they didn't have their camera system, or if they didn't get alerted, they could have died right there in that house. That's crazy. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? Did you see that Dave Chappelle comedy?
I've not seen it yet, but I want to see that.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you, man, but just see it, man, because have you been following the storm it's created?
Yeah, I saw the one clip about the baby, and I thought that was perfect. The way he said it, that was a perfect clip, and people are mad. It's like, what you mad about?
Man, he said a lot more, man. He pretty much drew, pretty much separated the black community from the LGBT community, and was kind of like saying, you guys are caught saying that I'm punching down, but then you guys are punching down on black people every day. Talking about the babies, talking about Kevin Hart. He's just talking about how they are claiming victim, but then going around and policing black people. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, black people has been through slavery. Like, have y'all been through slavery? Like, it's just, hey, I'm not gonna spoil. It's just good, man. And the thing is, man, when you look at just the liberal media, just falling for the trap and getting upset, man, and trying to cancel him. You know what I'm saying? This is the problem. Like, when it comes to the LGBT community, man, I don't see them as victims anymore, man. To me, that's a power structure. A power structure in my view is something that you cannot criticize. Like that's power. It's like you want to sit here and act like a victim while you can talk whatever you can say, whatever you want about anyone. You know, you could talk about heteronormative, cis men being abusive, all this nonsense. The minute someone claps back, you want to act like you are dying. Literally, you want to act like you are being persecuted, and then you send the full weight of the media. You send the full weight of the media entertainment. You start looking at where people work. You start trying to get them fired while still acting like a victim, man. I think Americans is just going to have to wake up to this, because the thing is, most Americans don't care about if you are gay. Like, nobody cares. But the way the LGBT community is behaving, they're going to start having people pissed off, because it's like every time, we're just seeing someone being canceled, or now you can't even joke. Like, just the slightest slip of the tongue, you're getting canceled, man. So yeah, man, that's all I want to say about that, man. You probably have to check that out. The other thing is, what do you think about that Facebook whistleblower, man? Do you think something, what she's doing is positive, or this may potentially be a Trojan horse?
I mean, I don't really know. It's kind of hard to tell, because I don't know if I know the angle yet. So it could go either way, really. It could be something positive, Trojan horse. I'm not really sure. I think my question would be, what's her end goal? Is she trying to push more censorship? And who are you going to be censoring? So I'm trying to see what the actual end goal of hers is going to be. That'll let me know where we're going to go with it.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of skeptical too. But the rule I go by with is, if I see the media siding with you, and I see the liberal Democrats and Congress siding with you, I don't know if I can trust you, man. Because the thing is, these people are pro-censorship, and liberals will never do anything that hurts themselves. Like, they're not going to do anything that censors themselves. And, I watched a few snippets of her in Congress. She's talking about how, Facebook is promoting hate. But it's like the hate is never really defined. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I feel like they are talking about like right-wing hate or something, like, for example, someone, disagreeing with transgenderism, or someone, holding Black people accountable for killing each other in their neighborhoods. I just feel like that's the type of stuff liberals call hate, because when they can't defeat you in a debate, they do that. So I think, man, yeah, with her, man, I'm just going to be skeptical, man. But I just do not trust the media, man. And I don't trust Democrats to do anything right. They will throw this entire country under the bus to gain power. And this is it, and I'm done. I just wish Republicans would do the exact same thing, man. I wish that they would just push forward with their agenda. If they throwing people under the bus in the Democrat Party, just do it just to push forward with power. And that's all I got to say, man.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it. All right, great call. Yeah, I've been watching that whole thing with the Facebook whistleblower, but I'm not really sure what the angle is. So I have to keep my eye on that to see a little bit more about what's happening there. What I wanted to say, there was something I wanted to show. Oh, Dave Chappelle. Now, he was talking about Dave Chappelle earlier. I may do a video on this, actually. But Dave Chappelle has a new special out on Netflix, and that's the reason why I've not seen it, because I don't have Netflix. I got to sign up for Netflix to watch this. And I'm going to promptly delete my Netflix subscription or cancel it right afterward. But I'm going to get it just for y'all, just so I can see it and do like a review. But here's a clip. I won't show it. I'll just play it, just the audio. He's talking about the rapper called DaBaby. Now, DaBaby, if you don't know, I think I did a video about him, or I've spoken about him before. DaBaby said something about the LGBT. He was at a concert. He was like doing like shout outs like a rapper would do in between songs, in between his performance. He's like, shout out to everybody that's not engaging in X, Y, and Z activities, male on male in the parking lot. And shout out to everybody that don't have any kind of HIV or any kind of other incurable disease. So what the LGBT did is say, oh, you equated homosexuality with HIV. You can't do that. Apologize to us. Then they canceled him. They took him off shows. It was a whole big mess. Like all the mainstream media threw him under the bus. A lot of his so-called colleagues, guys like Questlove from The Roots, they threw him under the bus. you're homophobic, you're trash, all this and that. He apologized like 2 times. He went and spoke to like 9 different HIV or LGBT groups. It was a mess. They drug him through the river, through the mud because of what he said. And what he said, he wasn't even equating LGBT and HIV, but what he said, if he was to do that, would be true. Do you know, and I said it before, do you know that if you are a gay black male, you have a 50% chance of catching HIV? Do you know that? If you're Hispanic, 25% chance of catching HIV. So why is it a big problem that he said something like that? Even though he didn't really put them together, he mentioned them close to each other. He didn't say if you're gay with HIV. He just said one statement and then another one, and then they combined them to make it appear like he said it together, but he didn't. But if he did, he wasn't going to lie. It wouldn't have been a lie. So Dave Chappelle mentioned that in his new comedy routine, and now we're going to play it. Just audio, no video, because it's on Netflix.
A lot of the LGBTQ community doesn't know the baby's history. He's a wild guy. He once shot a and killed him in Walmart.
Facts.
Oh, this is true. Google it. The baby shot and killed a in Walmart in North Carolina.
Yep, sure did.
Nothing bad happened to his career.
Nope.
Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and kill a but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
There it is. And what he said was true. Now, the Walmart incident was self-defense. He was with his family, his baby mama or whatever at the time, and his kids. And the dude rolled up on him. And, you know, things happened. Fight broke out. The dude wound up getting killed by the baby. And it wasn't a problem. He shot some other guys during the home invasion. That wasn't a problem. He beat a guy up in a store because just some mean mugging and some local hate in Charlotte. Nothing happened, but hurt a gay person's feelings. Oh, no. Oh, this will not stand with us. Apologize to everybody. We see what the value is and what the value is not. But I digress. Alrighty, online speaker to 917.
Hi, this is George from New York.
Alrighty, what's happening?
I am, man. I'm glad I was able to get through. I'm feel kind of lucky. But anyway, listen. I heard before that you've always been like an avid reader, right? Is that true?
Yes.
So, I've kind of gotten interested in politics. I'm fairly new to it. I mean, I've kind of been looking at politics ever since Trump became president. I feel like suddenly I wanted to learn more about it, but I have to admit, I never particularly enjoyed reading. I would had to read books in school, and I'd have to read it, and I would read it just to they would test me on books, and I would read it, and just to do book reports and stuff like that. And so, this has been going on for years and years, and I read things, but I don't particularly enjoy them. So I don't know if you can give me some advice on if I wanted to kind of get a little bit more into politics and where I could start, reading something just to get a start somehow, to just kind of expand my mind a little bit more,
So what do you want to get into? Because you can get into social stuff, economic stuff, right. Just straight political, straight, Democrat, Republican. So what do you really want to get into? Like more social stuff?
Right. So it's, I'm assuming then there's a lot, right? It's a lot to cover.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I would suggest, I'm not sure if you ever read the basic book that I have back here. I don't want to make any judgments of you, but Animal Farm, that's the easy way to start. Have you ever read that before, Animal Farm?
Is that Orwell?
Yeah, Orwell, yes.
Okay, I have heard of it. I'll look into it because I have heard of it. Yeah, that's like a book that I remember. I'm sure I read it at some point, but man, it was so long ago, and I read it, like Cliff Notes or something.
Right.
Pass
Yeah.
the test and get out of there.
Right.
But
exactly. But I think if you read that now, it's an easy read. You can read that, in the night. Really, it's easy. But that'll get you started. I don't want to just say, the art of war or something crazy like that to begin with. Start with something easy and then work your way on up. Orwell's a good thing. 1984, Animal Farm, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Blade Runner the Blade Runner is pretty good too. Blade Runner's good. Philip K. Dick.
Right. Oh, Blade Runner. Isn't that though the original? Wasn't it called like Dreams of Electric Sheep or something like that? Wasn't that the original?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Thomas Sowell, Black Rednecks, White Liberals. That's a good one for like the racial stuff. Yeah.
I've heard of Sowell. Yeah, and I've seen some of his interviews. I like his thinking, although I have to, his language, like a lot of things I kind of don't fully comprehend it, but I like where he's going. I mean, for me personally, I just feel like I've leaned more. I mean, I'm 35 and I've never really been into politics, but I've heard both sides, like the kind of liberal side and the conservative side, and I feel that I feel that the conservative side makes more sense to me. Because I kind of grew up as well, like trying to become an artist. And I think you said you were into graphic design too. I think at some point.
Yeah. That's what I did before this.
Right. So, and I would be around a lot of those kind of like fine art people. So I remember, being around these type of people and I remember them kind of like, they didn't, and I was that way too. We didn't really have a responsibility. Like we didn't look at things in a sort of like a responsible way. Like we kind of lived in our own little bubble, and we had no morality. I don't say well. I mean, I guess I could say we had our own sense of morality, depending on the situation. It would fluctuate, and I saw that, and that kind of was like I became aware of that, and I was like, I think I got to clean up my act, So,
right.
I think and the whole idea of responsibility, and things like that. So, but I also acknowledge that, I don't particularly like to read, but I'm going to start with Animal Farm because you suggested it.
Yeah, it's easy to read. It gets you kind of started into it. You kind of understand what's going on. It kind of touches on the Soviet Revolution, what is the Soviets and how that whole society operated. That's a good place to start if you're not really a reader.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll take your advice. I just have real quick. I just had I actually went and bought like a book. Barnes and Noble's had like a collection of like the Constitution with all these like accumulated writings, from like all these like the founding fathers. And I try to look through there, and the language was like, whoa, like it's just too. it's actually kind of they use a lot of biblical terminology too, but the language is like is a little too kind of complex for me to comprehend because I have to read it a few times, but I'll do the Animal Farm. But I like the show. I think it's great. I really enjoy all the videos you post, and so I'm a big fan from New York. And I wish you well, and thank you for letting me on here.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, I got some books back here too. Hold on one second. These are not really books. It's just good supplements to have. Okay. Heritage Foundation. You see it right there. Can I zoom in? Declaration of Independence. It won't zoom because I don't have auto zoom on. But anyway, there you go. Because it zooms in on my face perfect. This is also from the Patriot Post. This is the primer on American liberty. A lot of good stuff in here. If you're not really a reader and you want supplements, if you're having a hard time with some of the language, is a little bit too difficult to comprehend, these little primers and whatnot are good for you. Heritage Foundation, patriotpost.us. These are good. I got pocket Bibles. I got constitutions. I got all kind of stuff in here. But behind me on this right here, I have Mark Levin, American Marxism, Blade Runner, the Michael Lindell book. I have Atlas Shrugged, Ayn Rand, Orwell, Animal Farm. There's a few more books over there that I don't want to talk about right now. That's a whole different show we can get into. And I got some more. I have other books downstairs in the curio. But I'm going to go ahead and get to some more calls here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And let's go. Hold on. The phone line. The phone calls are coming in fast and furious. 805 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Eli with the Redfield Broadcast.
All righty. What's going on?
How's it going, ABL?
Everything's all right about yourself?
Nothing. I'm glad I got through. Thanks for reading my super chat earlier as well. And going a little bit into the super chat, I was talking essentially about this awakening that we've been seeing in the liberal masses. And
you said weight gain?
Some of the media, an awakening. To
awakening.
me, it seems like there's been an awakening, right? This awakening, for example, you were just talking about Sage Steele at ESPN. We had Nicki Minaj with Testicle Gate, right? We have Draymond Green, who's over there at the Oakland Warriors, and he's having to defend Andrew Wiggins, who's potentially going to lose $15 million because he refuses to get vaccinated, right? You just talked about Dave Chappelle, with the whole LGBTQ and the baby. And it seems like, even in New York, you had BLM and MAGA getting together and doing these, going and staying together against these marches. And I don't necessarily approve of BLM or what they stand for, but to me, it seems like ever since Biden has stepped into office, and this kind of speaks to a much larger picture, right? I feel like we have this hate hangover. These 4 years that Trump was in office, the liberal media and all their side were just spun up in this, in hate mongering. And they peddled that for 4 years against President Trump. And now that he's gone, I feel like there's a void there, like this hate vacuum, really, that's been left unattended, right? And it's kind of like a pit bull that has a chew toy, and every day he has that chew toy to rip apart. And the day you take away the chew toy, he bites your arm. And I feel like the liberal media and some of the people on their end, they're kind of turning on Biden, on the administration, on some of their own. Like almost like Kyrsten Sinema, for example. She's not going along, with what they're saying, and Senator Joe Manchin, they're not going along necessarily with, they're not pulling in the same direction, so to speak, because they are independent people and they do represent their own, their own segment of the population, right? That might have different thoughts than somebody in Utah or somebody in New York. So when I guess trying to ground myself back here, I figure that the left is trying to figure out what to do now that Donald Trump's not in office, and they've spun themselves into this frenzy of constant hate. And I just feel like they're taking it out on our country, on our flag, our customs, our holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, our history in general, all our historical heroes. When you talk about those heroes, what they did was a norm or a custom in those times. So we shouldn't be judging them from, 2 centuries in the future, so to speak. Just like 2 centuries from now, we're going to be judged for doing certain things. So anyways, I really appreciate everything you do, ABL. And maybe you can touch upon that a little bit, maybe some of that hate mongering that they got going on, that they appear to be attacking each other. And with that attacking that they have, it seems to be awakening some of these stars, or it's letting some of these lips, so to speak, get a little looser with what they want to say now.
That's a good point. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. And I appreciate y'all for joining. Couldn't do without y'all. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 404 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for answering my call. I wanted to just discuss or actually tell you about an incident with the industry that I work in. I work in the banking industry, and one of the well-known banks, and only the vaccinated are back at the office. And so we had a person in our office that said that she had the COVID, and no one was notified. Usually out of school in our area, in the schools, if a kid is, if they've been in contact with someone that has the COVID, usually they send them home for 10 days to quarantine. But with the work environment that we're in at the office, they didn't do that. And I didn't find out until later today that they didn't notify any of the coworkers that worked around this person that is home with the COVID. And it just says a lot about how we're working now. It's bad. It's really bad. I don't think that it's working for us to go back to the office, but I just feel like they were kind of suppressing it. Usually normally you would think, okay, they would pull these people aside and say, hey, someone on our floor has the COVID. You may want to go home and quarantine for a couple of days or take your medications or vitamins or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't do that. And that's a little scary.
Yeah,
that's
it definitely
is. A little scary for me.
It really is. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I don't know if other people are experiencing things like this. Luckily, I don't think the banks. I think the banks are kind of waiting. We've been lucky that they haven't enforced this mandate that the dementia patient in the White House is trying to enforce on us.
That's right.
So I think for that, it's good. But the way it's going, I don't see any good results coming of this. If it's just this incident that, we've experienced with just our group, I wonder how many other people are experiencing the same.
It's probably happening all over the place in different ways. Maybe a similar way, maybe a little bit different, but you're probably not the only people that are experiencing it.
Mm-hmm. So I just want everyone to be vigilant and know what your rights are. Speak up when it's time to speak up, as you should. Don't be afraid. And everyone just do your part. Just do your part. That's all we can do, But I just found it very discouraging that, I felt like they kind of suppressed this situation. That's very scary.
I hear you, 100%.
But thank you for taking my call. My husband and I, we support you a lot. We got your hats, we got your mugs. So yeah, we appreciate you. We listen to you every Wednesday and every Saturday, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. Got a few more to get to here. 559 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 559. Hello. Going once.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. ABL, what's going on, man? I'm calling you from the left coast, California.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I just wanted to comment on the situation on the border right now with the influx of 40,000 Haitians coming up. And then they're saying that we could have 500,000 coming up in the next month or so after that. And, it's just ridiculous with the fact that we have a government that literally will not act for anything to close this border up, to do anything about the drugs and the cartels that's pushing these people up from, Haiti and Nicaragua and everywhere else. And what they are complicit in is the destruction of our entire southern border, and they should all be held accountable for what they've done. Essentially, they've overran the resources with all of our states who are trying to come together and stop it. But, it's just overwhelming the system, and they know this. In fact, Congress can act immediately, and Article 20, they can send up the National Guard through their funding and stop it today. If they don't even want to use the National Guard, we also have Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15, where Congress has the power to call forth the militia. So they have multiple routes if they wanted to step forward today and end this. And there's no excuse. It's being organized. They want to mention, well, we have the cartels that are, bringing these people forward, but who is behind the funding of that? Who is behind the cartels telling the cartels to say, okay, we need you to get these people and bring them over here and flood the border with all of these immigrants and foreign nationals? You have to take a closer look at where the money trail goes with the funding with that, with the DNC, with other organizations that are international. And we're not doing that in Congress right now is my point. We should be. There should be all kinds of investigations going on into as far as what the cartels are bringing into this country. We're bringing in terrorists from the Middle East that I know for a fact there's terrorists coming up from the southern border that we have no idea where they're coming from, who they are, what organizations they're involved with. And in my opinion, it's a very dangerous situation, and very quickly we can start seeing cities in this nation be turned into chaotic, I guess for lack of a better words, just chaotic communities where there is terrorism, literal terrorism, and organized terrorist activities going on in these communities, to where it's so bad that law enforcement, it'll be totally out of their hands and there'll be nothing that anybody will be able to do about it. It's going to be just horrendous here. And I appreciate your time to allow me to have this phone call and just get that across to you and to everybody watching the show, because I just feel like there is a lot of attention being done, with the spotlight going towards the border right now at this point. But it really needs to be nipped in the bud and taken care of ASAP before there is things done to this country that will not be able to be reversible. It's just going to get so bad. So anyway, I appreciate your time, ABL. Thank you so much. And I love the show, and have a great night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Get some more here. Let's go 818. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL?
Everything's all right. Can't complain.
Man, this Ant-Man channel, I'm like super psyched that you've picked up my call 2 weekends in a row, or last time I called you at least. That's awesome, man.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's on your mind?
I was just wondering, I always have these really far out there questions for you. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but I was wondering, what did you think about Steve Bannon triggering the mainstream media, saying that, he wanted like 20,000, quote unquote shock troopers to take over the government?
I didn't even hear about that one. He said he wants 20,000 shock troopers to take over I never heard that one.
Steve Bannon, yeah, man. It was like he triggered the mainstream media really bad today. TYT, I don't know if anyone pays attention to them, but a lot of people were out there saying, he's calling for, another insurrection and whatnot. I don't like the term
wow.
shock troopers. I don't like that. I don't like that term, by the way. It kind of reverberates 1940s Germany, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I mean, anything that anybody on the right does, it doesn't matter if it's kind of on the line, kind of borderline or not. It'll be a big deal in the eyes of the left. You know, now if Biden was to do something like that, over the line, close to the line, it doesn't matter. It'll be totally ignored. That's how they operate. That's how they play dirty. They play dirty like that.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable hypocrisy today.
Oh yeah.
That is fascinating though to know, because you know they're really going after him, and I'm really interested into seeing the development into this, because you know I have a feeling that a lot of people are kind of tired of Biden and what he's doing and stuff. And you know, if they're calling for Minutemen, you know, like they have so many retired veterans that are out there that are willing to do something about what's going on today. We're being bullied, but other than that, you know, we need to be peaceful. Like I'm for keeping the peace as much as we can, man.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, there's no purpose in, like, you know, all the violence and whatnot. That's not really purposeful at this time. So it serves no purpose. All it does is hurt us more. You have to play their game in the way that they're playing it in order to succeed, because I think what happened is that we kind of just let them take over a lot of these establishments, mainstream media, politics even. They took over, and now we got to try to catch up.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my head up, man. Try to stay, you know, positive. Over here in Southern California, pray for us.
Will
Thank
do.
you for your time.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Later, man.
Yeah, I know they need it for sure. I know they need it, because it's rough out there, man. California, good grief. It's like, please escape. It's like getting to the point where it's like, Australia. Matter of fact, here's a question I have. Which one is worst? Which one is worse? California or Australia? Y'all let me know, because I feel like it's kind of a toss-up. I can't even really call it. Flip a coin, and it's pretty much the same way. I don't even really know at this point. You know, they're both pretty bad here. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's Cigar Box. Anthony, how you doing?
Oh, well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, just all right. You know, I got a little something I want people to think about. The government's throwing around this so many $1 trillion package for this and $3.5 trillion. I don't think most people even realize how much $1 trillion is. Like, I'll put it into perspective. 1 million seconds is 12 days. 1 billion seconds is 32 years. And 1 trillion seconds is 32,000 years.
Right. Exactly. So, people don't understand. They just throw these numbers out there because they sound similar, million, billion, trillion, but they are not the same. Not at all. Nowhere close. That's why Biden went out there and said billionaires and trillionaires. It's like, well, what trillionaire do you know, sir? Have you ever seen a trillionaire before in your life? What are you talking about? But people, they think like that because they don't understand what they're saying when they say it.
Oh, yeah, and the people haven't got a clue. And then you have that ass saying, oh, it's not going to cost you anything. Who in their right mind?
You're passing the budget, but the budget costs nothing. If the budget costs nothing, then what are we talking about?
Yeah, why don't they make $20 trillion if it's not going to cost anything?
Right.
Yeah, it's totally insane. Something kind of that I found astounding was there was a certain Congress person who made such a stink that she wanted the world to know that she thought her life was over when there was a riot going on January the 6th because a cop came looking for her in her office, and yet she sees no problem with Kyrsten Sinema getting followed into the can for a squirt and these people in there harassing the living crap out of her.
That's right. I mean, and then Biden went out and said, well, it's part of the process. Oh, it's part of the process, huh? Okay, so how was that any different than January 6th? Part of the process. We're coming to address our grievances, and we're talking to elected officials and whatnot, so it must be the same thing. But I guess because of the political implications, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's they wanted them to keep harassing them.
Right.
So is that other, and the thing that I'm changing now, the whistleblower thing. I don't trust this at all. I was watching that, and she's too smooth. It's like she's reading these answers that they're just asking her questions, and she's just rattling things off like no problem. Usually, when you're at one of those meetings, like you're gonna be nervous, right? She didn't seem to be nervous one bit. This seems to be all one way. And when they focus on children all the time, you know that there's some dirt. Like, oh, the children, they don't care about the children. How can you tell me that they care about, they're focusing on 8-year-old children when they're teaching the kids in the school to be racist and that they should be changing their sexes and all kinds of crap like that. They don't give a damn about children. This is all about censoring everything. They know Trump's going to run, and they want to make sure, they're terrified that the conservative people out there who are talking are going to say the truth. And that's what they want to shut down. That's what they want to shut down. I think that's the end game right there.
I believe you're right, because one thing about Facebook is that a lot of people, a lot of Trump supporters, they mobilize on Facebook. That's a really, really, really important thing for conservatives to use. You know, for Trump supporters, everybody, all types of groups, they mobilize on there. It's a really important tool. So if they're able to censor all these people, then they can change the outcome of the election. That's their thought process. So I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and by the way, last week when Brandon said Megan McGlover's going to be on, I just thought, this is going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Is she something or what, man? Like,
fantastic.
I don't know if you know, but like, if anybody hasn't heard it, there's a thing there called "My Prez is Trippin'."
Yeah,
it'll be on YouTube. And watch it. There's a lot of cussing. I'm going to warn everybody right now, but it's only a minute long. And she lost her TikTok account because of that. And you got to think, why would a Chinese company shut her down for criticizing the United States president, unless it was in their best interest to not have anybody say anything bad about the United States president, in which case, where does his loyalties lie?
Exactly. Very good point.
You know? So anyways, I've talked too long. I'm going to let you go, and thanks for taking my call, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. You losing your TikTok account because you say something about an American president. That's like, why does China care about that? Why is that a bad thing? 510, you don't line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how's it going, my man?
Everything's right, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Oh, man, I'm all right, man. Whoa, I didn't expect to get through it. Hey, I'm over here calling from California right now.
Sorry to hear it, man.
Bad down here.
I know it.
I just had a couple of things to touch on real quick, just real fast. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know how it goes. First of all, the misgendering kerfuffle with the Sonic employee, man, I felt so bad for him, man. I was just like, this transformer, come on, please, sir. I mean, ma'am. Come on, man. You're making this guy feel uncomfortable. You could tell he was just like, wow, I am not trying to be in this predicament right now. Please, sir, pull over and we could talk about it. But I mean, as you know, those people, man, it's not talking to these people. It's crazy. It's like anything for clout, I guess.
Right. Exactly. And it was like, why are you even doing this right here? You're at Sonic. This ain't no big establishment. You're just talking to a regular guy just trying to make some money and go home to his family, take care of his kids. What are you even doing? Like, the whole thing was just bogus from the beginning. And then the intended impact he wanted it to have by filming it and putting it on TikTok, it didn't really go too well. Maybe he thought he looks like Beyonce, which looked like Cesar Chavez. So it didn't go over very well. Now you're getting clowned for what? Just stop being so ridiculous. If you want to be LGBT or whatever, that's fine. But don't try to rope me into your game and film me and put me on TikTok. Don't do that. Just live your life and have that be that.
Right. That's exactly what I was saying too. And I felt so bad for the guy. But another one I wanted to touch on was the people harassing Senator what was her name, Kyrsten Sinema.
Yeah,
It's that was so crazy to me. So there was I think there was about 2 or 3. There was a bunch of videos I saw of her lately where they followed her into the restroom, and one lady was saying, "Well, I'm an undocumented person, and we can revoke your basically her senator status." And I'm just like, wait. And there was another video I seen of her. I think it was the same lady who followed her onto an airplane or to an airport. So what I was curious about, if you're an undocumented person, how are you even getting into an airport past TSA and all this and so on and so forth? So how's that even working? And you're an undocumented person voting. Wait. That just doesn't make sense to me.
right. Exactly. Like, how are you going to vote? Like, if you have no papers, then what are we really doing? So if what's saying is true about being undocumented and voting, then that gives credence to our argument talking about what they're trying to bring in these illegal aliens and have them vote. So
exactly,
there's some smoke and there's probably some fire hitting the way.
Right, and I'm Latino, and I grew up with grandparents who migrated here from Mexico legally. So it's just a slap in our face, who just try to do stuff the right way, and we have somebody basically blasting themselves online, just saying, "Oh, I'm undocumented and I'm voting and I'm here and I'm following you through TSA and so on and so forth, and following you into a bathroom, and I can revoke your status as senator and da 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 da." I'm just like, wow, that's really ridiculous for the people who try to come here legally and try to make something better of themselves, because America is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and this is the best place on earth, period.
Right on.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for your time, ABL. Hey, man, pray for us out here in California. It's bad. I'm out here in the Bay Area, so it's real bad out here with Mr. Dictator Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, man. So hopefully everything gets a little bit better, man. I'm praying for y'all. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All righty, ABL. Hey, you enjoy the rest of your night, man. Night.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All righty. You have a good one.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 713, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr.
Hello. Are you there?
Mr. Logan. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you well.
My name is Mr. Bo on the top, calling out of Texas.
All right. What's going on?
I got a suggestion, sir, for you, sir, for you, Brandon Tatum, and Candace Owen, and the other conservatives, for you to reach out to Hispanic listeners. If it's possible for you to put, not when you do it live, put subtitles in Spanish, so that way you can reach out to them, because they're watching Telemundo and Universal, and that's all they're stuck, and they can only listen to that, and they're not getting the information they need.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, because one thing I noticed is that a lot of these TV stations like CNN, they get broadcast around the world in different languages. So it's hard to reach people. They may not live in America, or they may not speak the language if you can't communicate to them in their own language. So if I'm able to have that happen as far as subtitles in Spanish or different languages, I love to do that. I think I have auto subs on, and maybe they can translate it, but I'm not really sure. I'll look into that.
Yeah, I've been trying to get sidetracked, and I was like, let me call, see if I got in, and first time caller, sir, and I got through. So I know you got other guys calling in. You have a good night, sir, and you're doing good work, sir. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
That's a good point. Have the call and have subs, so yeah. I may be able to do that where it'll be automatically sub to English, and then you could just translate it to whatever you speak. So yeah, YouTube, if you're listening, let's make that happen. All right, it's Skype caller. Who am I speaking to? Oh, okay. What's happening here? I don't know what's going on. You trying to blow up an air mattress or something? What's going on, boss? I don't know what's happening. Anyway, 434-658-1220. There it is right there. And there's the email for Skype if you want to get in the description box below. You could be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, or you could just do audio, whatever you want. It's fine. Yep. But yeah, that's a great idea as far as having the subs live. Dr. Detroit says, you remind me of my senior drill instructor. I've heard that before. Because of how I look and all that, kind of like the military look. I'm not from a military. I just look like this because my dad was in the military. My uncle was in the military. Granddad was in the military. I didn't go to the military, I think, because I graduated in 2002. Right after 9/11. So it was kind of, Let's go to the next call. 802, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 802, hello.
Hey, ABL. Hey, what's going on, man? This is Kyle from Vermont. I'm happy to be, very happy to be on the show. I'm glad to be able to listen to every caller come in and talk about, like the gentleman that called before, about having it in different sequences, languages, or subtitles. That is fantastic, because the word that is getting out is the word of the Constitution, which everybody wants, and everybody's coming in. And this administration is really deforming this country into something that really isn't necessary, and it's very upsetting to me as well as it is to everybody else. But just want to say, keep it up, brother. Keep it up. Keep everything going. Let everybody know. Word of mouth is the best way to spread knowledge. And I appreciate everything you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to 951 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Kelly from SoCal.
All righty. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to know your thoughts on the whole 1776 redo, because that's exactly what we need. It's we, the people. We are allowed to take this over, and why not?
So what does that really mean, though?
That means to take over.
I mean, but be more specific. I don't want you to get in trouble now, but just be specific, like take over in what way?
Meaning we are allowed to take over our government. It is getting too corrupt, and now this spending bill is just getting way too weirdo. And now it went down on amount, really, and now it's all okay. Did you just hear about the military having no more paychecks? How is anybody going to actually go into the military now without paychecks? Retirement funds are all going to be totally obsolete. I don't understand what this situation is all about.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Like they trying to, the whole thing with the military and the paychecks, that's gone on before. They do that all the time because that's just a way to try and pressure people to sign these big spending bills. The truth is that the government does not need all this money. They spend way too much money. They're trying to get more, and they're using leverage of the military and senior citizens to try and make it happen. So that's all that it is. And I think that I don't know about taking the government over.
We should be outrageous over that. And also, hello, the tyranny that's happening with all these mandates.
Yeah.
And so we need to, like, literally, whoever wants to succeed from the federal government should be able to do that. We are the people.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. One thing about the states, we still have some rights in the states because I don't know about how it is in California right now, but I don't have there's no mask mandates, no vax mandates where I live at all. You can't even do that in Florida. It's not really, it's illegal to do that. So I think more of the focus should be on the states rather than the federal government. And I think that'd be my focus going forward, is having less federal government, period. Not trying to take it over, just having less of it, period, and having more focus on the states, because you're able to get what you need.
Yeah, but the more power they have, they'll take over your states. That's what I'm getting at. And we, the people, have the power to take over the government.
Okay, but the point is that the federal government needs to be less of a focus and more on the states. I see what you're saying about the federal government trying to take over. I understand what you're saying about that. But the focus right now should be on the states. I'm not sure what can be done as far as the federal government at this moment.
Okay. That was my piece.
All righty.
Thank you so much for your content, dude. That was awesome.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Shout out. Let's go to some more here. Our calling line, speaker to 347.
Oh, how you doing, ABL? I'm calling you from New York City.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just watching you and getting fed up with everything that's been going on. And I'm a proud American, but I'm also a Colombian American, first generation American. I also went to school in Colombia. It sounds like a great idea what you're going to do, but please do me a favor so all these liberals know it's not Latinx, it's Latino. Our language was derived on a masculine and feminine way to say something. Niño is boy, niña is girl. They need to stop this. All they do is pander us. When it's time, they do this with blacks, they do this with Latinos, just like he did in the election. He played Despacito thinking that was going to get votes. It's enough is enough with them treating us like we're retarded. See, they don't think, we know that they're stupid, but they think that we're stupid. And this has to stop. What they're doing now, they're trying to come. I'm a father of 2 kids. And now they're trying to say they're going to put the feds against me if I go speak in my kid's school.
It's crazy.
This is just outrageous. First of all, that's a state problem. The federal government should not get involved with what's going on in the state. But these people is just, there's nothing you can do. It's like, yes, I'm active. I follow people like you, Bongino. But what more can you do? I mean, it's like they're just in bed with all these billionaires that are funding them and all this madness.
I'm with you 100%.
I mean, there needs to be more of us. Something needs to get done. Someone needs to speak up about it. This bill they're about to try to pass is going to, my kids, your grandkids, everyone's going to be broke.
Right.
And look at 120,000 Haitians are in Texas. No COVID test. You get a test. With them, no problem. And anything about this. This is outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is outrageous. I mean, the problem, I think, too, a lot of things happen in this country is that it's almost illegal to be proud of your country.
Right.
My mother ran away from Colombia when she was 18 years old. Came here. She gave all of us white names because she was proud to be from America. And she's very proud still to be an American. She got her citizenship and everything. She did everything the right way. That's how you're supposed to do it. You can't go to another country and just walk in and be like, yeah, I'm going to stay. Give me money. Give me benefits. It don't work. That's in La La Land. But these people are trying to pass these things, and it's outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's a different set of standards for those that come over here illegally than it is for American citizens. So at a certain point, it's like, well, what's really going on here? What's the end game? Right.
What's going on? Like, and where's BLM in Chicago? Just the other day, the prosecutor in Chicago, video came out today. These kids stopped in front of cops, shot a kid, killed him, and she said, yeah, there's not enough evidence to prosecute.
Crazy.
They're literally just letting this whole place go to shit. You don't hear nothing about BLM. I live in New York City. 100 kids under 21, black kids, got murdered. And what do they? You don't hear nothing about that.
Nope.
You don't hear nothing about it. Nothing. Because it has nothing to do with a white police officer. If it's black kids killing black kids, it's okay.
That's right.
No problem. No one says nothing about it. or the simple fact with all these new little pronouns, and they're trying to get rid of that's the problem with the black culture. 70 years ago, when there was a mom, a dad, a nuclear family, the black family was thriving. But you take that away when you want to be here, have the government, and you can suck on the government's boob. No, I don't need a man. The government's going to take care of me. And look at what that does.
That's right.
It's hard. I mean, I'm trying to teach my kids the right way. I mean, it's just really hard.
I hear you, man.
It's really hard, man. I'm really glad for your channel. I watch exactly what you do. I'm happy to be your follower. Thank you for doing this good work.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Much love in New York, even though we're a democratic liberal city. But believe me, there's a lot of us out here that are awake. And the real awake, not like, the liberal awake, where you got to call someone they and them. Get out of here. Years ago, I used to go to a club in the city called Sound Factory. That's when you used to see those people. It used to be like a sexual preference. Now they want to have these people come to the school and read to kids. Come on.
Right.
They're just, it's crazy. It's just crazy talk. But again, thank you again, brother. You're doing good work, and we're here. You got supporters.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
You got it, man. Be good. Thanks.
All righty. Let's go to 828. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 828. Hello. Going once. Going twice. All right. Got to be ready to pick up the phone. Let's go. All right. Hold on. 479, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Hey, did you see that Project Veritas report about the fetal tissue?
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
The vaccine?
Yeah, I saw that just a little while ago on Twitter. I've not watched the video yet, but I saw just the headline where they said that Pfizer was trying to hide the fact that they used fetal tissue to develop the vaccine. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what the emails and the whistleblowers state. Do you think that'll change anybody's idea about the vaccine?
Nah, I don't think so because,
You don't think so?
I mean, there's already, if people don't have a problem with the vax being mandated, regardless of whether somebody has a health problem or they already had the virus before, they got antibodies, they don't really care too much about facts. Now, those of us that care about things like that, we're going to care, but those who are just willfully ignorant are not going to care, in my humble opinion. Maybe some of them might, but for the most part, no.
Man, it's pretty sad, but that's all I have to talk about, man. So, hey, you have a good night.
Thank you for the call.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I saw that. So Pfizer, I guess they were trying to hide the fact that they used stem cell, fetal, like fetal tissue, aborted baby tissue to develop the vax. Yep. This is Pfizer. That's what the whistleblower says. I don't know if that's true or false, but it's what they say. So whistleblowers come out, they're believed depending upon what the political narrative is going to be or what it's not going to be. It's funny how that works, but I digress. Everybody online, I'm speaking to 727.
Hey, how are you? I just saw two crazy things today. I didn't know if you already addressed them. I just joined your live. But one of the first things was I saw that unvaccinated people aren't able to get organ transplants anymore. I saw that on the news today. And also, I didn't know if you heard, but a Texas high school got shot up, but the school shooter was actually African-American. Now, I don't think that the media is going to cover it the same way a regular school shooting has happened, because I feel like every other school shooting that has dealt with someone that's white, you see it all over the news, you see it everywhere. But now we see a black kid shoot up a school, and I don't see it really anywhere. So those are just two things I saw today that kind of stood out to me.
Yeah, I didn't see the first one, but I saw the whole thing about the black school shooter. Yeah, they're not gonna cover that. It was in the news a lot today. They spoke about it a lot, but since that news has come out, it's over. It'll be gone by tomorrow morning. You won't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I definitely check up on that Oregon thing. I don't know how true it is or not. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is true with how everything's going, but just wanted to let you know what I saw today. So have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So that's crazy. So do you guys know, can you confirm that in the chat? Is it true that you cannot get an organ transplant if you've not had the vax? Is that federal? Like, what's going on with that? I'd like to know more about that. That's crazy. I mean, why would that even make sense? It's like, okay, if you need an organ transplant, you probably immunocompromised. You obviously have a health problem. So why would they introduce the vaccine to make the health problem potentially become worse? It only make no sense. It's like, what's I got to do with it? Like, if you need a kidney or something like that, what's the bigger issue? The kidney or having the vax? I mean, I don't understand. It's in a certain state? Okay. But that's crazy. So now you're gonna see organ shopping more than what you see right now, but that's a different story. That was in one state. Okay. What was it? Was it in Colorado? Okay. Just Colorado from what I'm reading right here. Shout out to your name is not a name. But thank you for that. Let's go to 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. I do have a direct question for you and everybody else. Is how can the Department of Justice label parents who want to speak out for their kids' rights and educational future, arguing against CRT, but not Antifa and Black Lives Matter, who are the definition of what a terrorist group is?
It's all political. It's all political because BLM and Antifa, they push the left-wing agenda. And I think some of these guys are paid by the left to go out there and do certain things. So they are like the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. However, they see these angry parents as an obstruction to their goal, which is to get all these kids brainwashed by critical race theory and get everybody vaxxed and put the mask on to have them be obedient to the power structure that BLM and Antifa ultimately support. They may say they're anti-government, but at the end of the day, they're pro-government because whatever they do is supporting the left establishment. So they'll give BLM and Antifa a pass, but then when it comes to the parents, they must be stopped. Now they're terrorists.
Okay, so in other words, whereas BLM specifically are just like the KKK, and in many other words, the so-called black leaders who are leading them on are just useful idiots, and they don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like some people, they understand what's going on, some don't. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's powers behind the scenes that are working to get things done, and that's what they're doing.
Well, as far as I see it, people do need to kind of protest against the DOJ, because what he's doing and the mainstream media is doing are pretty much illegal. As a matter of fact, a lot of people in the media are pretty much cheering this on, and some don't know for sure that they're pretty much silencing their own freedom of speech away by going along with this.
Yeah, people are kind of ignorant. They don't always know everything. They think they're doing the right thing, but they're not. But they don't know any better. It's ignorance.
Well, several things. First off, I noticed that you haven't done a video on the so-called whistleblower. Please don't, because she's pretty much just a fake plant operative, if you will. But there is another video from Project Veritas out there, directly from Pfizer's own words about what the whole point of the jab is. It's not about curing people. It's about money.
Yeah, of course. It's all about money. That's really what it boils down to. Money and power, but definitely money through the power.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think you think at some point we need to kind of stop talking and just voting these guys in and start at least doing some action, because the way everything is going is pretty much causing a major division, not just in the United States but across the globe, while China's taking advantage of it.
Well, I'm not really sure what people want to do. I think that we need to go about things the proper way. Elections and local stuff, that needs to be the way forward, because beyond that, I'm not really sure what the plan is. And until there's a plan, I think that's not fruitful to discuss.
Well, keep in the back of your mind, because revolutions often do happen because people took action, not just for just talks alone. But I do want you to take a look at what that Lieutenant Schiller said, because he pretty much is not the type of hero that we've been led astray to believe. He's pretty much just a spoiled brat who just hates all authority, from what it looks like, because he refused to take money from Trump supporters or even Trump himself. And if you look at his Twitter account, he pretty much vilified Trump from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd look into it. I don't know anything about that, but I'd look more into that to see what's going on. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Okay.
All righty. All right. Shout out to my man. And let's go to the next call here. 619 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Good evening. My name is Rigo G. I'm calling from San Diego, California. How's your night going?
It's all good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Pretty good. I'm glad that I was able to get a hold of you today. I got a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. Maybe you'd be able to help me out.
Okay.
I believe last year, Ice Cube spoke with Trump regarding some information or a program regarding the African Americans. And he discussed that with Trump, and he also discussed that with the Democrat Party, and he was getting a lot of backlash because of that. Do you ever know, or I don't know if you know, but were they able to help him out regarding that issue?
No.
Did they even talk to him about it?
Nah, I mean, I think, well, I'll put it to you like this. This is what happened. What happened with that is meaning the Trump administration, they were trying to roll his plans into the platinum plan thing that Trump had. It was like $500 billion or some kind of crazy amount of money. A lot of money that was going to be given to like urban inner city areas, redevelopment. I'm not sure if that actually went anywhere, because while you're trying to do that, then here comes the election. And then, of course, the Biden administration, they're not going to do anything. So then that was it. The Biden administration, or the Democrats, that is, because this was before Biden got elected. But the Democrats totally just wanted to ignore him. The guy from the CBC, Cedric Richmond, Congressional Black Caucus, ignored him. They tried to put him on the Zoom call, and they weren't really. They're giving them pretty much lip service. They're not really trying to do anything. This is why Trump had given money to black colleges, and Biden took it away. They were giving $45 billion would it be, to black colleges, and Biden reduced that to $2 billion. But they want to pass a spending bill of $5.5 trillion at the max. It's crazy.
Yeah, I seen that today, and I was shocked, because I believe that everybody deserves, some helping hand, but to just take all that money from the African Americans, from black people like that, and you're claiming that you're really helping them, but you're not. That seems very hypocritical of Biden. It just seems like it's just getting out of hand with him. It's crazy. I don't know why a lot of the minorities, like Hispanics and blacks, like to just keep him and praise him. Like, I spoke to my coworker, and he told me that it's either him or how did he put it? It's either Biden or someone else than red. So it's blue to death. So they'd rather be in the blue than to ever vote somewhere near a Republican. That's sad because you having a mentality that you're just going to vote because of that color or because of being a Democrat and not listen to anyone else is just shutting yourself down. And I told them, you know, like, it's good to do your research. Don't, like you said, don't take my word for it. Do your research, look them up, look who you want in office or who you want as a representative, you know, look, but it just doesn't happen. And it kind of sucks because sometimes I feel like when you talk to someone like that, it falls in like, you know, deaf ears. Like they don't understand you.
That's right.
Well, it was good talking to you, man. I'm glad that I got in the show, and I'm always listening to you while I'm at work. You know, you're a great informant. I love your show, and you know, God bless, and you have a great night. All right.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Peace.
All righty, let's go to the next one here. All right, you're on the line speaking to Skype caller.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi, ABL. It's Danny from London. How's it going?
It's all good. About yourself?
Yeah, really good, man. Really good. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about a couple of topics. Yeah, the protesters harassing the senators and then the misgendering situation. So yeah, as for the protesters harassing the senators, my thoughts on that really is just, again, it's just there's a time and a place to talk to your senator, whoever it is, and it's not a public restroom. You know what I mean?
Exactly, 100%. It's like, okay, I'm over here just handling my business. Let's talk later. Right now is not the time. Do not shove the camera into my stall.
Yeah, it's just, again, I think these people are, I guess with the younger generation, they just get carried away with, you know, their phones, technology, social media. Everything always has to be recorded, and I just think that maybe I just don't think they realize that there's a barrier of certain things, and they always seem to cross the line all the time. You know, again, I just don't know why you can't have just a bit of common decency, a bit of respect. Just I understand you have some issues you want to, you know, with the Senate or whatever, you want to air out some of your problems, but just wait outside the toilet, let her do her business. You can wait 5 minutes. And then, you know, and then she'll come out eventually, and then, you know, carry on, do what you want to do. And, you know, all I'm saying is I'm not trying to promote any kind of violence or anything, but if someone's following me into a restroom, recording me while I'm in the toilet, I mean, the phone's getting, you know, snatched and smashed. It's just that simple.
That's right. I hear you.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it's like over, we've got problems with protesters they call themselves Insulate Britain. And they've been, you know, blocking up motorways and stuff like that. And again, there's a time and a place to protest. I think if you want to do that sort of protest, do it outside the Parliament, outside a building where, you know, they're seeing you do it, and you're not really getting in anyone's way. You're not, you know, again, holding up the freeway, holding up people trying to get to work or go wherever. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. I think there's a time and a place for these sorts of things, and for some reason, they always seem to pick the wrong places, which makes no sense.
Right on.
Yeah, as for the misgendering situation, man, I think you're spot on. I think it's just, again, these people are just attention seekers, man. I mean, again, they want to, again, get their phones out, record it, you know, pull out on social media, get the likes, get all that stuff. And I think it's just a game to these people, man. And I think the best thing to do to deal with these people is just to, again, either laugh at them or just tell them to, like, again, like, what do you want? Like, you know, get moving. Like, I'm not playing this game with you. You know, you either want business here or you don't. Like, get gone. I mean, it's just that simple. I don't know what else you can necessarily do with these people, man.
I mean, really, because at the end of the day, people have whatever they have going on, whatever they identify as, that's their problem, not anyone else's. Don't drag others into your weirdness. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
Yeah, exactly. Again, with you know, a man winning the Sportswoman of the Year, and that other guy you did with the pink hair, you know, again, another wife beater getting in the ring, and beating on females. Again, it's just I think maybe just the females just need to go on strike or something. Just stop competing against the transgender men. Transgender females. I mean, can't they just do that? Can't they just maybe put a foot down now and just say, look, we're not competing against them, end of?
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, if they continue to compete against them, then I guess it will spread and more transgender women will, you know.
Yeah, it'll become normalized. And we don't want that to happen. We don't want to have men fighting women. It's not okay. It's not cool.
Exactly. So that's the only thing I can think of. I was thinking, you know, eventually this can't carry on. The government will step in, but I don't think they are. So I guess it's up to the citizens, you know, up to the female athletes to put a foot down and actually say, no, we're not doing it. And hopefully then that will, you know, create a change of some sort, I guess. But yeah, man, there's other stuff I'd love to talk about, but I know time's of the essence. So again, I appreciate you taking my call. And have a great show. And yeah, hopefully speak to you again, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thanks, man. Thanks. Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to one man calling from the UK. All righty, let's get to a few more here. Let's go 541. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Jeffrey from Southern Oregon. I'm kind of going to be a short call. I'm kind of off topic, but I saw one of your videos last week, an older one, when you got your flags and you opened them up. That was so cool, man. You were so jazzed. That was just awesome to see. I don't know why you had to call and say that, but thanks, man.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, later.
All right, let's go to 617 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Jenna from West Virginia.
All righty, what's going on?
I just wanted to point something out really quickly on the misgendering with the Sonic thing. Do you remember earlier this year, Citibank launched a program with MasterCard where they have that True Name program for transgender and non-binary people to get whatever their preferred name is on their card. So that guy was just too lazy to actually go get his card changed.
That's right. 100% correct. You could have changed the card, had a special little card made just for him, and then it would have been no problem. All right, miss, what's your name? Donna Summers? Okay, cool. Fine. Boom. It would have been fine. But he didn't do that. Yeah, you're right about that. It's laziness.
Just wanted to point that out. Thank you so much for everything you do. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call. That's a really good point. You could change your card. You could personalize it, put little flowers and pink ponytails on it, and, you know, have that be that. But no, you want to have, you know, Oscar Rodriguez on there talking about some "Don't call me sir." It's like, man, if you don't get your WWE luchador looking, but she's right. The individual was pretty lazy to not just take the extra step to get the card tightened up. It don't take long. You can order online, order on your phone, boom, boom. It'll be there in a minute. You know, you want to spend some money, they'll make sure you spend some money. No problem. They'll get it to you. All right, let's go. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Mike.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, so I'm here watching. I'm a little delayed because I guess the live is a little delayed, but I'm saying to myself, where do I start with all this? I'm sure you probably thought of it too. You know, I'm here for work training and stuff, and they're trying to push this vaccine. A lot of the hospitals are pushing the vaccine, and it's putting me, you know, it's like, you know, I got an education in the bachelor's degree in engineering and so forth. And it's like they're willing to lose good talent, you know, a person with over 15 years in engineering. And I said to myself, where are we going with all this? Because not only the vaccines, and I'm sure ABL, you talked about this, but everything future-wise, right? Well, I've been thinking, like, where are we going with, you know, with China threatening Taiwan, you know, the U.S. with the $3.5 trillion bogus stimulus deal, whatever it was, that, you know, was trying to give $50,000 per journalist in the mainstream, to basically buying off the media. I'm just, you know, I have kids and stuff, so I'm sitting in limbo. You know, I'm sure you probably are too. I'm sitting with money in the bank where, what do I do with it? Do I buy a piece of property so that the banks don't do the bail-ins? All these things. are basically just bombarding me every day. I'm literally sitting in limbo with what to do for our future, especially in this country. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Well, there was a lot there. So was there a question?
No, just throwing the 2 cents out there. I'm sure, because everybody's talking about what's happening now, but I'm curious if we all kind of thought of a future plan B. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing is we just got to keep trying to fight for what we want, and it's going to be a never-ending fight. That's the thing. It's not going to be. I think what the mistake some people made was thinking that, okay, we got Trump in office back in 2016, and that was going to be it. We didn't need to do any more, but that's not true. It's going to be a constant, never-ending battle because you're going to have all these lunatics out there that want to abuse your children. They want to abuse you. They want to take over, and they'll never stop. They have endless energy, no fatigue. We can't just achieve one milestone, one accomplishment, and then fall back and be like, okay, it's over with. It'll never be over. Yeah. It's a battle between good and evil that's been going on since the beginning of man, and it will never stop.
And I agree with you 100%. I mean, I know in previous videos of yours, you don't indicate a specific faith, but I'm sure you probably come from some moral aspect, along the lines of Christianity. And I'm looking at the fact that it's true. It's a never-ending thing. I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm sure you've heard of the Tytler cycle, right? Where it's a cycle of societies or nations that come from bondage to spiritual faith to courage, liberty, abundance. I think we're in that complacent, if not apathy state, and we're heading into the dependence, as we can see. It just kind of sucks to be in this boat, right? At least in this time.
Yeah, it does.
My thing is just, it's just, and I know that we can't guarantee the future, but it is to be prepped, But like you said, it's a never-ending fight. I really think just here in this country, we're just too complacent. We've literally thrown our morals down the garbage. I mean, even at work, I see it. I see people they'd rather just keep their job and just accept the jab. And I think that it was just a bluff by Biden. I think if everybody did stand up and say, I'm not taking it, I don't think jobs would be firing people. But I think it was a scare, and it was just a domino effect, a chain reaction with everybody.
Right.
Yeah. But, I know I threw a lot in there. I know I'm preaching to the choir here on YouTube. I see the comments, but I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, take care.
All right. This is very interesting right here. Okay, I'm looking at my my old news channel I used to watch all the time in Virginia, Wavy, and they're having a debate between Glenn Youngkin, the Republican, and Terry McAuliffe, the Democrat, for the governor race, and they're gonna have it at Norfolk State as a black college. So at Norfolk State Black College, you know what? I don't care what the moderator says. I don't care what the moderator says. I'll be like, all right, check it out. How you feel about your man taking away all the money for black colleges? If you had a black college right now in Norfolk, how you feel about your man Joe Biden taking the money away from black colleges from $45 billion to $2 billion, a $43 billion decrease? How you feel about that? But he want to spend $5.5 trillion. Are you gonna? Would you be in favor of that if you were in the Senate? Would you sign off on it? Crazy. Norfolk State, a debate with Terry. Matter of fact, I'm put it on the screen right quick. You guys probably can't see it. Can I play it? Let's play it.
Republican Glenn Youngkin and Democrat Terry McAuliffe are vying for your vote this November. Watch a special political presentation, the 2021 Race for Governor, Virginia Roundtable, Thursday at 7 on Wavy TV 10.
Hilarious. They ain't even mentioned the college, but they put it on the screen. That's funny. That's typical Virginia stuff. You know, these leftist dominated platforms, they do stuff like that. Just like when what's his name was running, blackface governor. What's his name? McAuliffe. It was McAuliffe's vice governor. I forget his name. Governor Blackface. His name escapes me, but you know what I'm talking about. Northam, Ralph Northam, the Dr. Kevorkian, basically talking about having babies be aborted at 9 months up until the point of delivery. But anyway, when he was running for governor, they had campaign flyers out there in Northern Virginia. And on the flyer, it had Terry McAuliffe, because at the time he was the governor. Then it had Northam, and it was also the vice governor candidate. He was black. I forget his name. Matter of fact, hold on. VA vice governor. Justin Fairfax. That's right. Justin Fairfax. So Justin Fairfax was on the flyer. So it had 3 guys on the flyer. But then some flyer did not have Justin Fairfax on it. It's like, why is he not on the flyer? Why would you have the governor candidate, maybe the current governor or somebody else who is not on the current ticket, and not have the vice governor? Why would you leave him out of some flyers and put him on others? That's how they do on the left, especially. You don't really see it too much on the right, but they do that on the left. We're having a debate. Where is it going to be? Oh, don't worry about it. We'll put it on the screen, but we won't say it. So silly. Blackface Northam. That's right. That is right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it on up with the calls. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you guys enjoyed what you heard so far tonight, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you're listening through audio, go ahead and give me a 5-star rating, a review, whatever you can. I'd appreciate it. Also, a share, a like, whatever you can do. Thank y'all. And thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for sharing, retweeting, emailing, super chatting, PayPaling, buying the merch, whatever you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Couldn't do it without y'all. I got a few super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. And I'm hearing the rain trying to close the show out because I don't want the power to go off and then it just gets crazy. I can't close it out properly. Let's see. Let's go to super chats here. Let me go back to where I was. I had them right there and then it disappeared. I'm going to go back over here and we'll get straight into the supers. All right. So thank you to, what's that? Tycho Mike, who says Blackface Northam. I just read that one. Thank you to Pamela White, who says, wouldn't it be an irony on an irony? Wouldn't it be irony on an irony? Illegal immigrants find sanctuary. Okay, wouldn't that be irony on top of an irony if illegal immigrants find sanctuary cities not the American dream? Homelessness, paying taxes, language barrier, can't get jobs, schools messed up. Just saying. Exactly. They may not like them sanctuary cities. You go to a sanctuary city, San Francisco, and you see a dope fiend on the street, doing whatever he wants to do. That's not a very good sanctuary. Thank you to Per Kayla, who says on the Sonic thing, how was Sonic supposed to know that wasn't just some really ugly woman trying to use someone's stolen credit card? Hey, that jaw was unmistakable. That jaw, I'm talking, you looking like Oscar De La Hoya. You looking like you ready for a prize fight right now. If Mike Tyson pulls up, you know what I said, man, the neck is like this. The neck, you got a whole tire. You got a whole ballard, one of them ballards you put right in front of the building and keep from going through. You got one of them that's like jumbo size as a neck. That's a man, period. And thank you to Pamela again for your donation. Thank you to Bob K. MIT, who says, have you given any thought to my offer of flying you and your wife anywhere and getting you a hotel room for a vacation? It's still available. Keep up the good work. I have thought about that. We're going to get to you for sure. I think it's Buck versus Windshield, who says, thoughts on China shutting down coal plants to boost reserves. Some say they're getting ready to invade Taiwan. They don't fear retaliation at all. Wow, I've not heard about that, but I have to look into it. That's kind of a deep question for right now. Thank you to Joe Ryder 84, who says, I know you're a spiritual person, but do you think the black church has failed by definition of being part of the DNC party? The black church been dead for years. And not even because of the Democratic Party, not even because of that, but because of the lack of leadership. You got preachers that are pimps, basically pimping the women to get money. That's why men don't go. But that's a whole different ball of wax. But not even because of the Democrat stuff, not even because of that. It's more about the pimping type stuff going on in the church rather than preaching is pimping. Mega churches and all that kind of stuff. All these guys, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, don't get me started. Do not get me started. See, I grew up around church. I went to a Christian preschool when I was a kid. I've read the Bible. I know a lot about Christianity. So I consider myself to be a person that was raised in the Christian faith, that was raised with the Christian values, and I still hold on to them. But as far as the church and all that kind of stuff like that, and everybody's definition and their arguments and debates, I don't want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with it because I done seen too much and I've done too. I've not done too much. I've seen too much, and I've kind of gotten turned off from how we operate now with the church, especially in the black church. But I respect Christianity, and I have a lot of those values with me, although I don't claim to be a Christian, if that makes any sense. Thank you to Doug Prentice for your donation. Thank you to Clamum, who says, ABL, you need to revive your gaming channel, even do a video once a month or something. Okay, I will. I promise I will. I'm going to try to do some TV reviews and some gaming reviews and stuff like that over there. Even if it's just like a video a month or maybe even one video every 2 weeks, or I might be able to put in one video a week and then see how it goes from there. Because it's still there. It's still monetizing everything just like the way it was. Thank you to Gwen, who says, go to settings on YouTube video and choose translate CC to Spanish. Thank you to San Diego Variety Sports, who says, NBA unvaccinated players only able to leave hotel for team activities in Toronto. Violations lead up to 6 months in prison and or a $150,000 fine. Wow. Bob K. MIT says, we are allowed to change through voting our government. We are not allowed to take over. There you go. Dr. Detroit says, you remind me of my senior lunch. All right, that one. Thank you to Red Pill Broadcast, who says, ABL, how does the video chat feature work? Details. Well, long story short, I have Skype. And what I do with my OBS program I use to stream is I just mirror the Skype window here. It's kind of hard to explain just without really showing, but that's what I do. Like this video right here, like this little, that's my desktop over there, right? That's my desktop. I have dual monitors. This is my desktop over here on this monitor. I'm watching the stream on this one, so I got two monitors, and right straight ahead is my camera. So whatever's on this window will get put right there. And what I have right there is the Skype when it's up. Let me see. Bob versus Windshield says, shout out to Governor Newsom for forcing people to have walking papers to leave the house in LA. Bravo. Hitlery is smiling. Crazy. Thank you to Frank Dest, who says Star Trek. I can't read that because this is a family show, but thank you for that. Thank you to Joe Rider 84, who says Bernie Mac is anti-BLM. I already read that one. Did I get everybody on supers? I think I did. Let's read some more over here. Thank you to Kevin, who says, if Trump runs in 2024 and goes with the female VP, my top five are Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Candace Owens, Emma Robinson, and Kristi Noem is good for making up for Kamala. Thank you to Sweet Tea for being a member for 13 months, who says, thank you. Well, thank you for your support. Thank you to Jerry J, who says, good show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you to Sweet Tea, who says, for the channel, my friend, be safe too. Thank you. Thank you. And shout out to my man Shreeps, who says, fact, ABL Discord started for ABL Gaming. You still owe us a mod in ABL Insurgency Sandstorm session. Battlefield 4 coming out soon. We always had fun online. Hey, I need to get to it, man. I just be so busy. Married man now, I'll just be busy, man. But I'll make some time for sure. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Shout out to the mods for doing what you do. Couldn't do it without y'all. And that'll be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.